Mm. Below that at all. Oops, Hello there, Damien. I need to get Discord working. I don't know why it's not working, and that's very annoying. Let me try the browser. Right, there we go. There we go. Jumped in a leave stream. Yeah, well, maybe we will cast our Safari Hunt together. It might be a pretty long and exhausting cast, Damien, but alright. Hello, Casey. Hello, everyone who has joined. We're just getting back to the right area in Fire Red, and we're getting it tonight. I got a feeling. Famous last words, but hey. You gotta believe. You gotta believe. Alright, White Flute. Active. In Fire Red. White Flute active in Leaf Green. Alright. Thank you very much, Casey. Yeah, let's hope it's tonight. Sorry I'm a little bit late starting, by the way, everyone. Crazy, crazy day launching Matt's episode of the podcast. And then recording the next episode after that. Hello, welcome in. Do come in, everyone. Sorry we're a little bit late starting there. All sorts to sort out after releasing Matt Absolblog's Pokemon's episode of the podcast today. And then recording the next episode after that. But we are yet to find a shiny. It's day 6 of Safari Week. We are over odds. And it's happening tonight. And we're going to have Lee Provost, Osiris, joining us on call. So, hopefully we'll be able to put on a good show for you all, as well as finding lots of shinies. It'll be absolutely classic if Lee finds a shiny before I do. But we'll have to see. Luke, Gladius, welcome. Do come in. Do come in. We're about to be joined by Osiris VGC Lee Provost as well. Sorry about the flickering now. Hopefully that settles down soon. I'm glad that you enjoyed the episode, Casey. It was so much fun to record. Okay, I'm glad that stopped the flickering there. We still don't have Illuminate in that game, but oh well. Okay. We're ready to go. Hello there. Hi there, Rani. Good to see you. Thank you so much for hopping back in. Yes, lurk on your Switch, because we're getting that shiny, and we're going to have Lee Provost on call. Let's start hunting. Would help if I was in the grass on the leaf green, wouldn't it? You found your target after 7k, but it fled. Oh no, Gladius, no. Oh, amazing that it was your target, but also not amazing in the least that it fled. I'm very sorry to hear that. Oh dear. Let's hope it comes back for you tonight. Another YouTube video to watch. Go ahead, Ronnie. Hope you enjoy. Sunkern here. If you're new, we're going for Ledibur in emerald, Pinsir, leaf green, Kangaskhan and Tauros, fire red, and Larvitar in soul silver. And Leah's also going for Larvitar, so that should be interesting. Thank you very much, Gladius, for wishing me better luck. Very much appreciate that. Yeah, let's hope so. Let's hope so. Okay, place your bets right now. What do you think it's going to be? What do you think the shiny will be? How have everyone's days been? What have we been up to? Have been keeping cool, most importantly. Oops, didn't mean to throw a ball. But it's a good test capture. Oh, that stayed as well. That's good to know. Casey, congratulations on your whooper, my friend. That is fantastic. You got your target. A few 100 encounters in. Absolutely phenomenal stuff. You'll love to see it in Safari Week. Fantastic. It's been one of those days where everything has happened. Just full steam ahead at all times. And so it makes me believe that the shiny is not going to give me any kind of let up in terms of the adrenaline. So, exactly the ultimate shiny charm. Let's see if that pays dividends, KC. Exactly, we're doing a little Larvitar race, aren't we? Looking forward to that. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not surprised you weren't expecting it to come last night on your first day of streaming. The dream team, Luke. Well, that's very kind of you. Alright, here we go.
Oh, he's answered. I don't know if we can hear him.
Hello, sir.
Oh, we can hear Charlie. Right, chat. I'm going to just turn Charlie up so you can hear him. You can welcome Charlie in.
Likewise. I can hear you, my friend.
Right, I'm just going to check my volume levels. You can keep talking.
Sure. I'm just going to keep talking for checking Lee's volume. Can we all hear Lee over on this end if you've heard a few words so far? Very much hope so. Because he's got a lovely voice.
My chat can't hear you. This is not ideal.
Oh, no.
Let me see if I can turn you up a bit. That's not what we want at all. Yeah, chat, Mike. There we go. Okay. I'm going to see if that works a little bit better there now.
Hello, I'm talking just for you to test. Hello. Talking away.
Very quiet. Very quiet.
That's very strange. Shall I turn up the gain on my... I've turned up the gain. Is that doing anything? Talking now?
I think we're alright there, Matt. I think we're alright there now, mate. Maybe.
Alright. Okay. I'm going to keep talking just in case. Let's see. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I just can't get your volume up. That's the annoying thing, which is... I'm going to just play around with stuff. But how are you doing, mate?
Okay. Yeah, very well. I'm sorry I got back to your message so late. It's been an absolutely crazy day of releasing the next episode and also recording another one. But... Mate. Yeah, here we are. So we're starting stream a bit late, but we're finding it tonight. We're finding that shiny.
Yeah, how many resets are you in so far?
We're approaching 9,000 now.
Wow, over odds then. So you are very ready for...
I am very ready. I know it can go on much longer. I just feel like it's happening tonight.
And I'm so far behind in resets.
I heard you say in your stream yesterday that you were questioning when Safari Week finished, and it does finish on Sunday, so you do have a bit more time to get some resets in. Although
got a little bit more time. It's typical though. It's Glastonbury Festival this week, so
yeah. I was just thinking that
over the weekend, so I'm not going to have as much time to dive into it as I would have liked to. But
of course, as I said that, I thought, oh wait, it's Glastonbury this weekend.
Yeah, it starts today, mate.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But won't be going down till I think Friday. I'll be going down. So It doesn't officially, like, the big acts don't start till Friday. But
Yeah, of course.
And you've got all the stuff, yeah.
Yeah. I've got Casey, an American, in chat saying, love the British pleasantries. It's like the most polite hello you could ever witness. Well, yeah, that's what we like to bring.
It will. I was wondering how long it would take for the partridge impressions to come up.
Well, I think it's earlier now you've said that. Don't know if we've got any Alan Partridge fans in chat, but you're in for a treat.
Do. I'll let you know on my end if you do. Oh mate, you've got to get it tonight. What are you kind of like? What's your big target that you're hoping for? What's the one out of all of them that you're going through on the different games? Because you've got what have you got? Fire red, leaf green.
That's right, Luke. So yes, we've got fire red, leaf green, emerald, and soul silver. So I'm also going for the Larvitar. So we've got a bit of a Larvitar race going. And in emerald, going for Ledibur.
Nice.
Hello there, Rich. Welcome in. In Pinsir in leaf green, and then Kangaskhan and Tauros in fire red classic.
Oh, the Kangaskhan, the classic one.
Yeah. It's got to be done.
We were talking about this earlier as well. It's like there's some nice choices, but it's like it's all well and good, like going for these targets, and even if you get them, but there's always there's that next step of being able to catch them. Like, the pain.
I know.
The pain that you come across if you get the shiny, but that's all part and parcel of it.
Yeah.
But
that's
I
why.
was saying earlier, my strategy is the exact same verbatim for what you said. Just Pokeballs.
Yeah, exactly. You can't be.
Your logic of being, I'd rather have even the smallest chance of catching it than having a zero chance at all.
Yeah, exactly. You can't be messing around with baits. I mean, can you imagine if you found a shiny Kangaskhan? Are you really going to throw anything other than a ball? I mean, come on.
No, there's no chance. Andy, thank you so much for the subscribe, my friend. And if you're joining us on the stream tonight, I hope you enjoy it with us all. We have a very special guest on call as well at the moment. We have Charlie Merriman, who is also... well, our fellow caster, of course, as well as a fellow Safari Week shiny hunter. But he's way deeper in with the resets than I am at the minute. So 9,000 Charlie is right now, and got some very spicy targets that he's going for. So we finish up streaming tonight, and Charlie's still going. Hop over and follow along with Charlie's action, because it will happen tonight. I guarantee it.
Very kind of you, Lee. Well, I hope it happens for Lee as well. Yes, I don't know if you can hear me over there, but hopefully we'll get that audio sorted relatively soon. Yeah, and I might be deeper into the resets, but it doesn't really matter, Lee, because still no shiny, and it could happen at any time. So we'll see. Let's see who the first one will be to shine. But I think, going for someone like the Ledibur and Emerald... having a more modest target, at least then you can sort of hopefully get one on the board. But having said that, I was participating in Safari Week last year without streaming, and found a Nidorino and a Venonat, and they were both fails. So you just never know. Even the Venonat.
Both of them.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely crazy.
That's so brutal. At least you'd think, like, I've got my second one here. This one surely should be the catch. But no. You've got to try and reclaim them this year, mate.
Exactly, yeah.
Are you getting encounters of those Pokemon, like, in the areas that you're hunting?
I am. So, it could happen.
The redemption arc will happen.
Yeah, the reclaim would be epic. But,
yeah.
Oh, accidentally threw a rock at that Nidoran. Sorry, Nidoran. How are we doing for the audio? Do you think we can...
I'm just going to check. Chat, can you hear Charlie on my end all right?
I am talking. Hello, chat. Let me know if you can hear me. Would love to engage with you all in real time. And now I'm just continuing to talk while we check that sound.
My chat is like, no, there's nobody here.
Oh, no.
Cannot hear you. And this is the thing, right? This is the thing. I don't know whether my chat, I was like, it's usually trolling me. There's a few in there that I do believe, but I feel like there's a few in there as well. They are like pure trolling, maybe troll, but I don't know. Okay, I don't know. Right, okay. No, I think that they're genuine, can't hear you. So, okay, I'm going to try and fix this to... okay, I think I know what I need to do. Sound settings. It's always good having these technical issues when you're live as well. Always love.
What's interesting is that you can hear me, but the chat can't, because when I was on call with Quick Panic on Friday, it was just because my Discord audio settings were wrong, but I couldn't hear him at all.
Really?
So it must be a different thing here.
And my outputs are all input devices. It's all lining up correctly, and my music's playing through, so I know my Go XLR is working. It's just a bit frustrating that I can't get your audio through for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Maybe it should be coming through. It should be coming through. No, that's all right. If you talk again, mate.
Yeah, talking. We got a Nidorino and another Nidorino. We've got a Raticate and we've got Hoot Hoot. I would hate to find a shiny Raticate or Rattata, but I'll take whatever at this point, to be honest. It'd be the most hard-fought for shiny Raticate we've ever had. And I'm just still talking.
It's so strange because like it is coming through on my end, but it's just not coming through at all. So let's see if that works there.
Hello, Decrepid. Yes, managing the heat. Okay, thank you. We've got Lee Provost on call. Osiris VGC, fellow caster. Very excited to be on call with him. We're just sorting out some audio issues over on Lee's stream so the chat can hear me.
Yeah, mad issues which are just not seeming to go away. But hello everyone on Charlie's stream. I hope everyone is having a good week, having a good day. It's great to be over on Charlie's channel when we're doing this. I'm just having a lot of issues with the audio on my end, and it doesn't seem to be getting fixed, which is really strange.
That's very odd.
I don't know why it's doing this. Maybe what I'm going to do is just close. Can you hear? Yeah, I can hear Charlie chat. Yeah, which is the real annoying thing. But I can't get the chat feature. Like I have a chat output, but it's not seeming to like. And even when I assign Discord to my chat lines, it's not doing anything, which is kind of frustrating. It's very frustrating. Wonder if I do this.
Your two favourite casters too, Decrepid. That is so kind of you. That has made our evening. I will be casting tonight's hunt. It will be a long old cast, but could be done. Maybe when we find the shiny, maybe that's when we'll start casting. Welcome in, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Sorry for the slight delay in starting. Been a mad day getting my episode with Matt, Absol Blogs Pokemon, out, and also recording the next episode with NAIC Go Champion out of pocket. So it's been a whirlwind of a day, but we're here, and I just feel like that whirlwind energy is going to continue. That's why I feel like we're getting the shiny tonight, because like buses, all of these things come at once, don't they? So keep your fingers crossed, because we are over odds now.
I am not having any joy, mate, with this. It's not feeding through. And
that's a real shame.
I'm just going to apologise to my chat as well.
Sure.
Because I'm sorry, I'm just trying to sort out the audio issues here, but obviously sorry to your chat as well. But I cannot, still can't hear Charlie. I cannot get the audio all working, which is really frustrating. And I don't know why it's laying up hard reset. I could hard reset and try that. I mean, what I'm going to do is just close. I don't need to close the stream or anything. I will just exit all of my mic should still work now.
Very pleased you enjoyed the episode, Decrepid, and good luck with your VGC practice, Decrepid. Absolutely. First 2025 event next weekend. Wow. So strange that it's all starting up again already. God, it feels like very recently indeed that the 2024 season was starting. But Here we are.
No, I can't get it working for whatever reason. It's just not pulling you in, for whatever reason. Been really.
That's really odd. Is it something to do with? I don't know. You can hear me, but the chat can't. So does that suggest that? I don't know. Just I'm too quiet, so your mic isn't picking up me, or I don't know what sort of audio feed you have. For me on your stream.
Input device should be. I'm gonna just go through. Try this one. I'll try this.
Yeah, it does feel like EUIC was only a couple of weeks ago, doesn't it? It's the year is racing past. Time flies when you're having fun, and we have fun when we play Pokemon. I'm glad you enjoyed the episode, Gladius. That's very kind of you. Yeah, it was a pleasure to talk to Matt, and just his enthusiasm is infectious. Very much hope that all brings us shiny luck tonight.
I feel like this might be. I might have you now. I might have you.
Okay, I can hear the music now, so that's a good sign, I think. Hello, I'm talking. Or I heard something at least.
Okay. Do that. And I do that. I wonder if I can hear you still. Okay,
I'm talking away. Let's see. Let's see if the chat can hear me. Just need to keep that talking going for for Lee's chat to hear me.
No, I can't. I'm not able to. I don't know why. It's not.
Welcome in if you're just joining. We're just sorting out some audio issues with Lee, who we have on call. Hopefully we'll be able to get it working, but you know what technology can be like. We'll have to see. But anyway, very much appreciate you all being here for day 6 of Safari Week. Still no shiny. We are approaching... Well, we've just broken 9,000 encounters here. We're over odds. Shiny is due. We'll just have to see what it is. And if you're joining for the first time, we are going for Ledabur in Emerald, although I'd happily take any of the targets in that area. They're all so cool. Pinsir in Leaf Green, Kangaskhan and Tauros in Fire Red, and Larvitar in Soul Silver, which Lee is also going for. So we'll be having a bit of a race if we can get this audio working. If you're joining here because you listened to my interview with Matt, Absol Blogs Pokemon today, thank you so much for coming, and I hope you enjoyed it. It was a real pleasure to talk to Matt, and it just feels fitting to be participating in Safari Week tonight, having released that episode. I am a Pokemon Video Game Championships video game caster, and also a content creator. So I enjoy the less intense pursuits like shiny hunting as well as doing the competitive side of things. So you are all very welcome here. And are people hunting alongside? What are your targets? Let me know if you are doing some hunting or anything else alongside. How are you passing the time this evening? And I hope you're all staying cool as well. Definite heat wave at the moment in the UK, and I know that might seem like a bit of an oxymoron. Not something you hear every day, but yeah, the weather has been absolutely glorious this week. The sun is shining on Safari Week. And let's hope it blesses us with some shinies. Yeah, tech stuff is always a nightmare. So many different factors to take into account. It's very strange that Lee can hear me, but the chat can't. I don't fathom to begin what's going on there, but, you know, I feel his pain because on Friday when I tried to have Quick Panic on call, we made it work eventually, but, you know, I couldn't hear him at all. I had to change my audio settings in Discord. It was actually a very simple fix in the end. But, yeah, let's hope it proves to be just as simple for Lee. How are we all doing today? How are we managing to stay cool? And what have people been up to today? As I said, it's been a really busy day for me. Not only did I release my episode with Matt, but I recorded an upcoming episode with the NAIC Go champion out of pocket. I had a great time talking to him. He's a lot of fun, so I'm looking forward to all of you guys hearing that episode when it comes out in a few weeks' time. But before that, next week's episode will be featuring Ben Kiriakou, fellow Pokemon video game caster. So hope you're all looking forward to that one as well. Yeah, what have people been up to today? Let me know your targets if you're shiny hunting. Let me know what your dream Safari Zone find would be. And it might not necessarily be your big hitters like your Kangaskhan's. Maybe you have your sights set lower. Maybe you want an easier catch. Maybe you just love one of the more common Pokemon in the Safari Zone. Let me know. Hello. We're hoping to get Lee Osiris VGC on call very shortly, if we can sort out some audio issues here. You've been working, then reviewing a few of your VG matches. Now you're eating, going to be playing some more VG matches after eating. Hey, eat, VG, repeat. That's the mantra, isn't it? I'm talking away.
You should hear me.
Can chat hear me? Let's find out. Still
Chat
talking.
Can hear you, and I think you can hear me. I've just had a mad issue where I know I could hear you the whole time, but I couldn't get my mic to feed through on yours, mate. So
I see. Okay, so we're good.
I think we're good now.
Amazing.
It's working. We can hear you.
Hey.
Oh, finally, there we go.
Good
Excellent.
stuff. I'm glad we got that working. What a head scratcher.
Get there eventually.
Yeah. So.
Wow, what a kerfuffle, mate.
Yeah, what a kerfuffle. But we're here, and we're gonna get some shinies.
Yes.
Hello, Lee's chat. Wonderful to talk to you. I had the honour of speaking to Lee in the very first episode of my podcast, and a pleasure to hang with Lee tonight. And of course, Lee and I are good friends from doing casting together as well. Already missed casting events with you, Lee, but the new season is coming up.
I know, mate. It's officially starting on Monday, right? But we're not going to have any events until probably into it'd be September at the earliest, won't it? So we're not going to have any mid until around that time of the year. But yeah, new season starting. But yeah, it's weird. It feels like such a long time since Bologna, since the last event.
True.
This season, it's crazy.
Yeah, I remember talking to you I remember talking to you in Bologna about we could do a little co-stream of Safari Week, and here we are. It's just shot past.
So what is Charlie doing while Lee is shiny hunting? Charlie is shiny hunting as well. Charlie, the reason we got Charlie on tonight is Charlie has been all week doing Safari Week. Charlie is doing it in, remind me, Charlie, Fire Red, Leaf Green, Emerald, and what was the final one?
Soul Silver, my friend, so also Larvitar.
Soul Silver, the OG game. So joining us in the Soul Silver. So that's nice. And Charlie has his own targets that he will be going for as well in his stream. But Charlie's already hit like 9,000 encounters. So Charlie's way, way, way ahead of us. So hopefully Charlie gets the shiny tonight. It would be good if we can bring him a little bit of luck. And then we can take all the glory.
Yeah.
Steal it away from Charlie.
No, please do bring me that shiny luck. This is the thing, right? The way it works, it could be still at this point we could find like 3 shinies in Safari Week, even though we're over halfway through Safari Week right now. It's just completely luck of the draw. Rolling an 8,192 sided dice. So yeah, let's cross our fingers. Let's hope that we bring each other some shiny luck. But it is cool that we're both going for the Larvitar, so we can sort of have a little race for that.
Yeah, that would be that's nice. I like that. The Larvitar I felt like I had to go for. It's like
yeah.
Of having that Tyranitar and the Safari Ball is just, and then being able to trade it up. And I think the special thing about Safari Week this year, I mean, lots of people already spoke about it, but the fact is that after this year, we might not be able to have the opportunity to move these Pokemon into Pokemon Home anymore because of bank closing. So it's kind of one of those last chance saloon Fire Weeks almost in the minute where it's quite an important one to get those big shinies if you can. So yeah,
that's a very good point. I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, I don't know. And a question to your chat and my chat and you, Lee, how you feel about transferring certain Pokemon up through to the present day? Because if I found a Kangaskhan, for example, a shiny Kangaskhan, part of me would just want to keep that in its native generation. Just because it's so iconic of Generation 1. And then, of course, there's that knowledge that it can never go back in time. So, I don't know, what are your thoughts?
I'm probably, I totally relate to you with the keeping the Pokemon in their native game, because I think there's something special about that. But there's a part of me that's also thinking, especially for the Kangaskhan, I would think, well, ZA is just around the corner. We know we're going to get Megas back. I think Kangaskhan was a huge Mega Pokemon, so I'm like, how cool would it be to have that Kangaskhan from the Safari Zone in a Safari Zone and a Safari Ball, from that game, say, you get it in Fire Red, Leaf Green, or even Emerald, and then to be able to use that in competitive play, and it be a shiny as well. You think, wow, that's no one else is. It's so unique. So for those reasons, I think I'd probably likely trade it up.
Fair enough.
I think why I've got a lot of the targets that I'm going for are mainly competitive kind of Pokemon, so stuff I can use if I go to tournaments. Hopefully I'll be able to use Tyranitar at some point, but Mega Tyranitar exists. Farigiraf is always, I think, going to be good in whatever format it's allowed in.
Yes.
Meganetric and Smeagol as well, just that sneaky one to add in there. So I
Very
probably,
nice.
the ones that I get, I trade up.
Yeah, fair enough.
We are planning on jumping into Gen 3 later this week if we get anything in any of these games.
Nice.
So I probably be more inclined to keep those maybe in their native on those cartridges rather than trade them up, I think.
Yeah. No, that makes total sense. I love going for the intimidation tactics with your opponent sees Safari Ball, shiny Kangaskhan and thinks, okay, this guy's serious. It's getting in there early. Yeah, and Decrepit, it depends on the Pokemon. That makes a lot of sense. Riley, thank you so much for hopping into the chat. Totally understand you've got to keep an eye on these, but appreciate you hopping in, dropping a like and a sub. That is very kind of you, my friend. So thank you for that. Decrepit also says, first EU event should have us casting together, Lee. So that's very sweet of you, Decrepit.
Oh, well, that would be amazing, wouldn't it?
They would absolutely love that. Yeah.
Whenever it will be, yeah. Well, if we get asked, I guess that we can make it happen.
Well, yeah. Only time will tell. But that would be a lot of fun.
Hopefully they pull our names out of the hat. That would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Decrepit also saying, imagine if you both get Shiny Larvitar at the same time. That would be one for the history books, I think. That would be internet breaking potential there.
Oh, that would be so good, wouldn't it? It would be amazing. Imagine. I wonder who. Then we'd have to go down to who's got the better nature, who's got the better.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Determine the winner. The nature would probably do it enough. Whoever got the better nature. If
one
of us got the adamant one, it would be hands down winner straight away.
Yeah. But again, Lee, you're forgetting that neither of us might catch it anyway. Because we're in the Safari.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Safari, Larvitar generally has such a poor catch rate that,
it's terrible, isn't it?
It would be bittersweet finding a shiny Larvitar in the Safari Zone.
I kind of feel like I would just probably stay on the screen where the shiny had spawned in and just leave it there. And maybe just be like, I'm just going to leave this 3DS plugged in forever now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Never gonna, I do own this. I just can't move from this point in the game.
Exactly.
I've got it.
Sometimes just open the screen and look at it just to marvel, and then put it to the
screensaver.
Yeah, exactly. So Decrepit asking in chat, do we think Legends ZA will be the 2026 VG game, or 2025 even? Well, yeah, don't know. So many things to answer. We'll need more information on Legends ZA, but it would be really exciting. I don't know. It's hard to make that call because we just know so little about the game at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I've brought this up many a time. There's a part of me that thinks it could be. because I think we're probably not likely to get to Gen 10. I think there's two ways of looking at it. Do we get Gen 10 next November, or is it the following November? Because it's going to be one of those two. Now, to me, it would make sense maybe we get Gen 10 next November. Now, a lot of people are going to say that's way too soon, but that release schedule would then fall in where you would take full advantage of Gen 10 being the title that is in the main year of the 30th anniversary, which is 2026. So you release at the back end of 2025, Gen 10, and then you've got the whole of 2026, that 30th anniversary, to celebrate Pokemon, the 30th anniversary. You know, going to be a big deal that year as well for Pokemon, because it's such a kind of iconic anniversary number. Or you look at it like this, you say, well, no, I think it'll be the following year where it'll be released in the back end of 2026, which is probably more likely, I think, in my mind. And then you think, well, what are they going to do with competitive between now and Gen 10 releasing? Because we're not going to be able to stay on Scarlet and Violet for like 2 whole years. We're pretty much getting to that last kind of competitive cycle where we're going to have GS Cup, and then where do you go from that? We were talking about it earlier on stream. Where do they go? Do they, for the first time ever, introduce mythicals, or do they introduce like a ban list system where every 3 months we have a new set of like 20 Pokemon that are banned? I don't know where they go, but could they have enough longevity out of that and kind of pique that interest for like 2 years potentially in Scarlet and Violet? And I just don't think the interest is there with Scarlet and Violet. So it makes me think, with Legends Arceus being the sandbox of those games, the testing grounds to see what the interest is like and test those ideas and stuff, are they going to then implement some more mainline game mechanics into ZA and have like a battle facility in there and use that, because Megas are in there as well as the new game that we play on going forward? Potentially, I think there's a potential there, but there's a big part of me that says maybe not as well.
Well, that was very well reasoned. Yeah, lots of salient points there. Of course, they could just completely flip the script and release Gen 10 sort of for Pokemon Day on the 30th anniversary or something like that. But yeah, I know what you mean. You could
February 2026, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Or isn't it 27th?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can never write that sort of stuff off either, because we're always locked into these like patterns, but there really is no pattern, right? They just release them at, I guess, that Christmas release time, the schedule around November, optimal time for like most companies to release a new product for that Christmas, the more optimal Christmas sales, right? There's no reason to say that they are locked in to say that is when we're going to do it.
That's true.
There's a big part of me that thinks like ZA could be the release game on the new Switch console.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if I've just got my tin hat on, for that, and just yeah,
it could be. Or Gen 10 is safe for the new Switch console. That would make sense to me as well. And also, I think Marcus and you and I were talking about this, about how it could be that they just go completely left field and the competitive format is something like only first evolutions sort of thing. And you really explore different Pokemon that have never been used in competitive. But yeah, mythicals are also an option, as you say.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, they could do mythicals, but then I think they need to make them more accessible.
Yeah.
To be able to get. So that's the other problem with that. I think a ban list they did something like that in the past with Sword and Shield. So I could see them maybe doing that, like banning the top 20 used Pokemon. I think you'd have to go back to a national dex format for that. And then every 3 months you kind of cycle that ban list with the most relevant 20 most used Pokemon. So you're constantly in a new cycle of new Pokemon coming around every 3 months, where you have to use, like, because you'll have Pokemon that are coming in that are going to be more centralized into that format because other Pokemon aren't there. So I think that could work, but then how long can you prolong that for, as well? Yeah,
exactly. We've got a Decrepid saying Caps a Kid 2026 meta. Could be.
All for it.
Yeah, and also you love Terra, but yeah, it would be. We'll have to see what happens with terrestrialization. I mean, it's such a beloved mechanic at this point. Who knows what's going on. Also, I just feel like story-wise, there could be some unanswered questions here, because you've got Roaring Moon, for example, and Iron Valiant, who look a lot like the Mega Evolutions of their respective Pokemon.
Yeah.
And of course,
even
we've
the
got
Dex
Megas.
entries.
Yeah, exactly, the Dex entries, and we've got Megas coming back in Pokemon Legends ZA in some form because that symbol was shown. So it feels like maybe there's still more to discover, more to explain, maybe in Scarlet and Violet. I don't know.
Yeah, and the thing with Kalos and Paldea as well, they're right next door to each other, right? So there's that link straight away where you're like, okay, these are like neighboring regions, so there's a good chance that there's going to be like a crossover somehow. Even though we know Zia is only going to be set in Lumios, it doesn't necessarily mean that we're not going to get some story or lore behind something that happened in Kalos potentially that affected Paldea or vice versa, you know, so you could kind of have some spillover between the two regions. And I think that's maybe what we could see.
Yeah.
There's a big part of me that wants ZA to be like a Legends game to be in the competitive
Yeah.
circuit. I think it would be so good because it would be so different. It would really spice things up, I think. And even if that meant it was just a little bit different for a year and a half or a year until we got Gen 10 and then it all reverted back to normality. But then I think you could then maybe look at every 3-year cycle where you think, oh, well, the next Legends game's going to come out. We're going to have a really fun, different competitive circuit for at least one season, and that might be quite fun to think about, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I was not aware that Kalos is right next to Paldea. How do we know that?
If you look at the map, it's it's geographically speaking, you know that area that you've got on the top right-hand corner of the map in Paldea that's kind of blocked out?
Right.
So that area there is the land link between Paldea and Kalos. Because Paldea and Kalos, Paldea obviously based off Spain and Portugal, which border France.
Oh, right.
Which is Kalos. So they're right next to each other. So the Great War, it's kind of theory that the Great War could have been between Kalos and Galar or Kalos and Paldea. No, it's kind of up in the air with like which nations were, you know, the Great War where the ultimate weapon was fired and all of that sort of thing. Because I don't think there's a definitive answer to say who the Great War was between, but I think you can surmise it's between like one of those two regions, either Paldea or Kalos.
Yeah. And is the theory that the Great War is exactly what, for example, Lieutenant Surge was fighting in?
No, the Great War was over 3,000 years ago. So that's
right.
Or what's he called?
I'm just imagining a 3,000-year-old Lieutenant Surge.
Yeah, it would have been cool. Like, I mean, it's Lieutenant Surge might be low key, like just an AI robot who doesn't age.
Yeah, could be.
I'm trying to think of the character's name, but he had the Eternal Floret.
Yes.
And,
yeah, I can't remember his name. I know exactly who you mean.
Yeah. So that Great War, so that happened a long, long time ago. That's why I don't think that Zia is going to really touch upon that sort of story because it's so far in the past. It feels... AZ, that's the one. Tifty, thank you so much for jogging my memory. Like I said, chat, I feel like I left my brain on the treadmill tonight. I just melted in the heat, and it's just still there. So I appreciate the bump in the right direction. But yeah, I think it's too far in the past to have any sort of relevance to a redevelopment project in Lumios. That makes sense.
Although this is a really good point that I thought of, and then Jacrapid has put in chat as well. So his name was AZ. And the game is called ZA. There's got to be a link there.
I feel like that there's got to be something there, yeah.
It's got to be.
This is what makes me almost more think about it actually set, like ZA set after X and Y, like our adventures in X and Y, because then it would make sense, right? Then we could have a tie-in to the AZ story, the Eternal Floret, because at the end of X and Y, the Eternal Floret returned to AZ. Prior to that, Izzy's been wandering lost around Kalos, as we know from the story, until he gets captured by Lysander for information about the ultimate weapon, taking the key and things like that. So he's been lost. The Eternal Floret left him after he fired the Eternal weapon because it found out after it got brought back to life that other Pokemon's life forces are being used, all the Pokemon graves and things. So it left Izzy, and that's why he was wandering aimlessly around Kalos in massive grief because he missed his Eternal Floette. So I think to have any sort of story with that Eternal Floette and Izzy, you would need it to be set after X and Y almost. You couldn't have like an in-between the Great War and X and Y, because then Izzy doesn't have the Eternal Floette, so it kind of wouldn't make a lot of sense. But I guess they could do it and tie it in some sort of other way, but I'm not really too sure how they would do it.
Yeah, well, that's very exciting. There are so many threads just left unexplored. Yeah, that's...
It's very exciting which direction they're kind of going to go with it on, and how they're going to approach it and all of that. It's whether the whole theory about like time travel is a thing. A lot of people kind of seem to think it's going to be set in multiple different timelines. Time travel, and I guess that would make sense, because if you're all set in Lumios City for the whole game, if you're going between timelines, you're going to the past if you're in the present, and then you're in the future, then Lumios is going to be a different area every time you go to those different time periods.
Sure.
So then it could make for a bit more interesting content, but yeah.
And that would also tie in well with one of the main threads of Scarlet and Violet, with different realities, different timelines, different almost parallel universes that keep coming in with, Sada and Turo from the past and future respectively. And wow, it could all link up. I mean, who knows? Maybe in Gen 10, this is obviously something that's been on everyone's lips for a long time, but maybe in Gen 10 we'll finally sort of get the reveal of the big world map that links all of the regions so far, and it will tie up. I don't know, but
could you imagine like the ultimate gold silver game where it's not just one region but every region?
Yeah, exactly. yeah. Oh my goodness,
that would be wild. That would be so good. I mean, that is so far-fetched. I don't think it'll ever happen, but I mean, I would love it to happen. It would be so good.
I think it's at some point they've got to tie up all of the regions somehow. Maybe not all at once, but there's got to be more of a nod to, okay, so a bit like with Kalos and Paldea, there's got to be some kind of acknowledgement that these aren't all sort of alternate realities. This is all in one world, sort of thing, I feel like.
Yeah, in my mind at the minute, it seems like what they're going to do with like that lore aspect of things. They left a lot of lore out of Sword and Shield, as well as like many other games where they just left things unfinished. And I wonder if the stuff that was left unfinished was purposely done so they can then readdress them properly in their separate game, or like in a Legends title for those specific regions, and then that ties into everything together.
Yeah, maybe.
Because you haven't really got much detail on the Darkest Day from Sword and Shield. There's a lot of areas in those stories that you feel like, there's not like a lot of things answered, especially like Kalos. I'm hoping a lot of the things that were left in Kalos unanswered get answered in ZA, as well, because there's lots of stuff there that they just kind of skimmed over or just never came back to. So
yeah, and that's an interesting theory that you've got there, Casey, about AZ. Casey, I feel like Pokemon purposely insinuates the geological relation to the regions, but doesn't assume them to be where they are in our world. Yeah, I know what you mean. Maybe it is just an assumption that Kalos is next Paldea, but certain things like the Roaring Moon and Iron Valiant similarities with their megas, it would make sense. It would make sense for them to be nearby. And yeah, Decrepid Oras had an interesting thing about the Pokemon multiverse. Yeah, well, when you think about it, the only way they can sort of make Pokemon make sense in a way, everyone has their cartridges of the game, and everyone is playing as this player character in the same region, finding the one legendary, but everyone has multiples of the one legendary because there are so many different game cartridges. The one way they can make sense of all that is if there is some kind of Pokemon multiverse, but I don't know how deeply they'll dive into that.
That's a kind of a good one, though. We got Tony here. In Horizons anime, they're already connecting different regions. Could be a sneak preview of Gen 10 ideas. That's very true. Yeah. Be like a nod to what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's the funniest Oh, here we go, Charlie. Off topic for a minute. What's the funniest experience you and Charlie have shared in person?
There are quite a few.
Oh,
Now,
few.
one that immediately springs to mind is I don't know if this is the funniest, but one that I always remember fondly, and this ties back to Alan Partridge, if that's making sense to anyone. Back at EUIC, we met Zoe Nowak, who was hosting the stream for Pokemon Go at EUIC, and Lee and I we were all having dinner, and somehow within like 5 minutes of getting to know Zoe properly, Lee and I were already talking about, I think you raised it, Lee, talking about like tinned breakfast or something like that.
Right.
And can you imagine having breakfast out of a tin, which is a thing? And Zoe was like, well, no, I can't imagine that. We were joking about how Alan Partridge that was. Within 5 minutes of meeting someone talking about something so mundane. But yeah, I think about it fondly.
My chat will not be surprised at that. We get onto the most random of food convos all the time. So yeah, for those of you who don't know Zoe, it's Zoe Two Dots, very big Go YouTuber, and from Australia. Obviously does amazing content in Pokemon Go. If you follow along, you probably know her channel. But she also, like Charlie said, co-hosted EUIC for Pokemon Go, which was amazing. Great meeting Zoe and working with her as well. But that was hilarious. Yeah,
that was good.
What was in my mind when that got brought up for the first time? Like that's like one of the first times speaking to her as well. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Breakfast in it. Have you had an English breakfast in a tin?
Yeah, exactly. They're like, wow,
Johnny,
they.
here's a question for you. Have you ever heard or had cheese whiz?
Cheese whiz. It sounds.
Do you know what cheese whiz is?
It sounds grim. I mean, I can hazard a guess, but cheese whiz. You know what? Someone's mentioned this to me recently, I think, with exactly sort of the same intention. Like, have you ever heard of this thing? Cheese whiz. It's something like sprayable cheese or something, isn't it?
Very, very good.
Good, mate. I can't remember who said this to me, but yeah, okay, enlighten me. What is it? Cheese whiz.
So cheese whiz, I'm as far as I'm not, like chat, just remind me, but it's cheese that comes in a jar.
Oh yes, yeah. That's it. It's like spreadable cheese, isn't it? Something like that.
Spreadable cheese in a jar. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I guess the question is what.
Buy some, but it was like £30 on Amazon. I was like, I'm not that desperate to get it.
I'm trying to remember who mentioned this before. I feel like. Part of me thinks maybe we were talking about it with Zoe. Maybe this is. It's coming full circle here, but yeah, canned cheese, foamy textured, yeah. But like, what kind of cheese is it tasting like? I'm guessing like the most synthetic cheese. And yes, decrepit. Yeah, no, fair point. Maybe you do a 6v6 with AZ and then gives you eternal flow. Who knows? But cheese whiz. That is. I'm not gonna get any. Put it that way.
Well, we've got a community scheme going on. We're gonna make some cheese whiz merch and have cheap mugs. So we'll send you some cheese whiz.
Okay. Fantastic. Great. Thanks very much. Casey's saying it's pretty disgusting, to be honest. You know what? Could have guessed that. Thank you, Casey, for confirming. Yeah. But so Matt, Absol Blogs Pokemon, whose podcast episode I released today,
yes.
His chat suggests all kinds of crazy things, and one of them, in a time gone by that has now become a running gag on his channel, is Cheeto water. And what you do, it's someone who watches along with Matt's content suggested you leave Cheetos in a glass of water for like 7 minutes, let it infuse, and then drink that water. And you can obviously try the different flavors. And, Matt tried on stream all these different Cheeto waters. Apparently jalapeno is the worst. Original is the best, but that's not saying much in Matt's own words. So, it's it all comes down to these weird cheesy concoctions.
Cheetah water. I love it. I mean, now I'm thinking, how far could we take this? What other things could we infuse in water to get a different experience? You know.
Yeah.
What other dissolvable foods can we incorporate into this theme? I'm just trying to think of like, obviously other crisp products would be like really perfect for this, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like Skips.
Yeah,
Skips.
Skips. The things that are...
Skips are like prawn and cocktail flavored crisps.
Yeah.
I don't know how that would go down.
The things that are covered in seasoning, you're right, those are... I feel like... or maybe Twiglets. You remember Twiglets? Or...
Marmite flavoured water.
Yeah. Knickknacks or something like that.
Nice and spicy flavoured.
Yeah. Decrepit. Why would he do that to himself? Exactly, that's the question on everyone's lips.
Cheese and onion Monster Munch.
Oh, Monster Munch, generally, that's a good show. He also...
Our American viewers get Monster Munch. That's a good question. I wonder if that's just a UK crisp or...
Matt also talks about, he drinks a lot of Mountain Dew, and so I don't know how he knows this, but apparently he knows that there was a flavour that's forever locked in the vault that was never released, and that is Dewitos. In other words, they made a Doritos flavour Mountain Dew, which is like a soda, a fizzy drink. And I don't know, obviously it was never released. Like, I don't know why they were thinking Dorito flavour Mountain Dew would be a good idea. Yeah. But apparently so.
What point of the board meeting was someone... Did they say, yes, we'll go ahead with that? That's great. Doritos, yeah, big brand. Well, yeah, that'll taste nice, that.
Yeah.
I love a Dorito.
Yeah. That was pint o'clock. That was home time in the office, and they decided, look, we just got to get to the pub. What are we saying? Yes or no? Yeah, fine. We'll do the Doritos.
Yeah, we'll do it. The guy that's been trying to push it for years finally picked his moment, right? It was like 4:00. I'm going to drop it right at the end.
Yeah.
They're going to say yes today.
Yeah. It's just thought of another fun memory with you, Lee, from a previous event, and that is back in Liverpool, where we were walking around the venue before the event started, and walked past one of the vendors, and they were just getting out all of their sitting cuties. There was an enormous... I've never seen such a big box just full of sitting cutie Pokemon plushies. And I immediately texted a picture of this box to the other casters that event, which were Costa, Ben, and of course Lee, saying, lads, come and rummage through this massive box of plushies with me. And within 2 minutes, no exaggeration, they were there saying, where's this box? And we literally dove it. The box broke because we were rummaging through these plushies with such fervour. And that was an absolutely... That memory will always sit with me. I've still got that photo as well. I mean, we got some good finds as well. In fact, the Wobbuffet and the Porygon that you can see in my backdrop here, they are from that box in Liverpool.
Yeah. That was chaos, that box. Those vendors afterwards as well, because didn't they charge us, like, what did they charge us? Was it like £15?
Yeah, that's right. I think they charged us 20.
The price after we bought them.
Yeah, exactly. They charged us 20 and then changed the price after we bought them. But we did get our money back. And I remember you saying to me, Lee, Charlie, would you mind coming up with me to ask for the ask for the money back? I was there as like your guard dog growling at them.
Just like, come with me, just to make sure everything's all right.
Yeah. Welcome back, Roddy. You're back in chat. What game should you hunt on today? Yeah, so Lee, a bit of lore here for Chazingdra chat. Lore. Not Chazingdra chats, but Chazindra's chat in stream. So Rani was shiny hunting a few days ago on Legends Arceus, going for a shiny alpha, and got the shiny alpha Ursaring in Legends Arceus.
Oh, very nice.
And then the next day, I recommended... She asked me what game she should hunt in, and I said, go for shiny Porygon in Let's Go Eevee. Which is quite a difficult encounter. Didn't find the Porygon, but did find shiny Pidgeotto and shiny Vulpix. So, clearly, we're just dishing out the shiny luck here, and now Rani's asking, what game should Rani hunt on today?
Hot Gold, Soul Silver, because they've got it.
Hot Gold, Soul Silver, Rani, do you have that?
That would be my vote.
Yeah. And then what should be shiny hunted, if that is an option?
Ooh.
Oh, I tell you what, you could. Oh no, it's not. I was going to say the Lapras, but that only appears on a Friday, doesn't it? The Lapras that you can get in the Union. Is it Union Cave? Yeah. But what else could you do? I mean, there's so many cool types. What you could do as a little sort of nod to Safari Week, you could shiny hunt in the bug catching contest. Although that's Wednesday. It's Wednesday today, isn't it? And that's Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. I'm being foiled. What else could you do? I'm trying to think of static ones, but it doesn't have to be static, obviously. Maybe only Switch games, says Ronnie. Okay, only Switch games.
Okay, Switch games.
So you've done Legends Arceus, you've done... Yeah, what about Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, Ronnie?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for that. You could go in the Great Marsh. That is still valid in Safari Week, of course, because Pokemon can flee. Or you go for something else. Like, what's your favourite generation for Pokemon, I suppose? Jacrappa goes Shiny Sharpedo in Sword and Shield. That's a really good shout, because in the Isle of Armor, they chase you around. I remember that well. And so, yeah, you could go for shiny hunting that. Welcome in, by the way, if you're just joining the stream. Very good to have you here. We're on call with Lee Provost, Osiris VGC, fellow VG caster, and we are bringing all of the shiny luck to each other. And we're also both shiny hunting Larvitar in the Johto Safari Zone. So who's going to get it first? My guess is neither of us are going to get it for a long time. But who knows? It could happen tonight. Emma, where's the Out of Pocket podcast? That is coming in a few weeks' time. I recorded with Out of Pocket today. It was good fun. It's been a crazy busy day, but stay tuned for a few weeks' time, and then the Out of Pocket podcast will be out. I had a great chat with Out of Pocket. He's a good laugh, so I hope you're looking forward to that. You could do the Sharpedo, Ronnie. Maybe take your Crapid's advice there. See how it goes. You're a big fan.
Shiny starters and Let's Go. That's a good shout.
Oh yeah, that's good. You could do shiny starters and Let's Go, Ronnie.
From our chat, yeah.
I think Ronnie's fairly sold on this Sharpedo, actually. So thank you, Jacrepid, for that suggestion, and let's hope that the shiny luck continues.
From Sword and Shield. Well, good luck with that shiny hunt.
Yes.
If I need to snag it very soon.
Good luck, Ronnie. And you were there at New Orleans, Emma. Very cool. New Orleans looked so fun. That parade, the jazz, the brass band parade that they had at the start looked amazing. I would have loved to have witnessed that. And just generally, the atmosphere seemed great. It's so exciting that it's back in New Orleans next year.
Where was our parade at EUIC?
Just me and you in Alan Partridge cosplayers.
just pretending to play brass instruments, walking up and down.
Yeah, exactly. Pretending to play them, going, aha! Yeah, we'll have to try to think, because New Orleans is so known for its music. What could we have done in London? What's London known for? I mean, like an Only Fools and Horses homage or something.
We could have had like a Beefeaters parade, couldn't we?
Oh yeah,
with the Beefeaters.
Could have done that.
Would have went down well though. They wouldn't have done that, would they?
Don't know how up for that they would have been.
We have had trying to think like.
Yeah, what else is? So it doesn't have to be London specific. I guess just UK maybe.
UK known things.
Yeah, like could have been something to do with flowers. I guess with the rose and the thistle, daffodil, clover, that sort of thing. You live on Baton Rouge, Emma. Cool. Okay, that's why you were so close. Nice. And Ronnie, so you can hunt for longer tonight. Great. Well, if your luck from the previous few days is anything to go by, you won't need it. Who knows? Maybe multiple people will be getting a shiny tonight. Is there anyone in your chat, Lee, who's also doing Safari Week?
There is a few. I don't know if anyone in chat right now is doing Safari Week, but we've had some a lot. Everyone seems to be doing like different hunts here and there. We've had some good finds. We had a Reggie Deal, I believe, found yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Which is an amazing find. I'm just trying to think what else we've had. We've had lots. Chat, remind me of all the grabs that you've been able to get over the last couple of days. But we've had some really amazing finds from chat over the last couple of days. And Charlie B, how are you doing? And everyone else that's joined. Sorry, we've got a guest in the call tonight, Charlie Merriman, fellow caster from the VG desk over here in EU. He's joining us because Charlie's also doing Safari Week over on his channel at the moment and doing You must be up to nearly 10,000 resets now, Charlie, are you?
Yeah, we are at 9,600 right now. Hello, everyone in Lee's chat, by the way. Pleasure to be here. Lovely to hang out on call with Lee. We always have a good time at the event, so we've just been swapping some fun stories that we share together. And Decrepit, someone gave you the idea of getting all of the Ogopon plush and then bringing whichever represented your emotion best that day. Yeah, by all means, go ahead. And this is a question we also talked about in Bologna, what your favourite Ogopon mask is, because there are some really cool options. I think, Lee, you said you like the Half Flame mask. I'm a fan of the Cornerstone mask, just not necessarily competitively, but just, for the expression. What's everyone's favourite Ogopon mask?
We've got, we had a shiny Mewtwo in leaf green yesterday in our chat, which is like another absolute banger shiny to get.
That is fantastic. Yeah, and we've
got just amazing shiny.
Congratulations to whoever got that Mewtwo. We got a couple of votes for the Wellspring in my chat here for the mask.
And Riley as well has been hunting. He's doing a Dream Team quest in Pokemon Ruby for the longest time now.
Nice.
I think he's on to phase 7 because he's after a shiny Zangoose.
Okay. Very 40, good.
I want to say 45 or 47,000 encounters into the Zangoose hunt.
Ooh.
Not yet.
Wow. Oh dear.
I'm on to get the shiny very soon, but it's been very resistant. Danny as well had a random Slugman Bergmite while going on a raid den. Very nice, Danny.
Very cool. Very nice.
Shinies.
Riley is not going to want to hear this, but in my Sapphire Dream Team quest, I had Seviper as one of my targets. This was back in the autumn of 2022, and I wasn't streaming, but Phase 1, and Seviper, I believe, has the same encounter rate as Zangoose in Ruby because they're sort of equivalent Pokemon. Phase 1 was Shiny Seviper for me. I was so lucky. Swablu is by far the most common encounter on that route. But yeah, the first thing that shined was Seviper. I was doing some kind of repel trick, but yeah, I got very fortunate there. And I hope, Riley, that is the luck that you need now to get that shiny Zangoose. But yeah, that's a long old hunt there. So sending you all the very best of luck.
We're all kind of praying that the next stream that we do, Riley will appear and be like, guess what?
Yeah.
Zangoose has been found.
Yeah.
Being very resistant at the moment.
And Casey...
okay, we've got some Hearth Flame. Sean says the Hearth Flame mask. Jelly Glimmer and Live Stage. Wellspring mask is the best. I like the Wellspring mask. So yeah, there's 2 so far. So
yeah, we've got another vote for the Hearth Flame in here as well. From Casey, and just need someone with the teal mask. Yeah, well, I also am a big fan of the teal mask. Obviously, competitively with the teal mask, also you can run a held item alongside, which is great. And Defiant is such a good ability. I also, in the first global challenge this year, because I was desperate to run Kingdra, I was running Kingdra and a Roaring Moon that had Dragon Cheer, and those critical hit Draco Meteors are so good when you're able to get that strategy off. But I also had a teal mask Pokemon holding the Razor Claw in there because Ivy Cudgel plus the Razor Claw plus 1 boost to the critical hit chance from Dragon Cheer, then you're still guaranteed critting with that Pokemon. So yeah, trying to make all those critical hits land left, right, and centre.
The Dragon Cheer. Remember when that first dropped and it was broken as the mechanic?
Yeah.
Had to be banned for a while. We need to fix this.
Yeah, it's real shame because it's very difficult to use well. So if anything, maybe it should have been how it was originally released, but oh well. Maybe that would have been too overpowered. And Defiant scares you, Ronnie. Yeah, well, fair enough. It is a scary ability.
It's a very strong ability.
Yeah.
One of the best.
Absolutely. Well, when Intimidate is one of the best abilities, Defiant is sort of automatically, therefore, going to be one of the best abilities too, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, come on. I really just want one shiny tonight would be... I don't feel like it's too much to ask for.
You say it's bold of you, Lee. It's bold of you to say that's someone who's approaching 10,000 encounters.
Yeah. This is the other thing about me being so low on encounters. I would instantly feel bad because you've been going for more than double the amount that I've done, and for me to get a shiny way before you, I just feel like it's not really fair. there, is it?
Well, it could happen. It could happen. It's all in good sport anyway. So no, I'd be thrilled if you got that shiny. But yeah, it'd be really interesting to see how this Larvitar race shakes out.
Cherry Fairy in our chat. I'm sorry, Riley. I stumbled across a blue Zangoose a couple of weeks ago. Stumbled across it. Very nice, Cherry Fairy.
That is stumble is definitely salt in the wound there. The fact that we face France in the football in the next round, yeah, that's Belgium, right, Ronnie? All the very best of luck to Belgium there. Of course, it's the Euros, and yeah, England just sort of scraping through, it seems like. Obviously, I was streaming, but we had Casey in chat updating everyone on the football, and 0-0. That's hardly a sort of resounding victory to go through to the next stage with, is it?
No, and well, I imagine it was pretty easy for Casey to keep the updates going because there was very little happening that game. Alec, good evening, mate. I hope you're well. But yeah, England haven't. I think it's looking like they probably will face the Netherlands or Holland in the next the knockout stages at 16. But it depends on the results tonight for the last remaining games in the group stage. Who we will face, I think it's. Yeah, it does depend. Because Georgia are currently beating Portugal, which is a massive surprise.
Yeah,
but,
wow.
It has been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, so as you know, Lee, I'm not someone who's massively into football, but then when the stakes are higher, like with the Euros or World Cup or something like that, yeah, it's fun to show up and support what's going on. I know that, exactly, get involved. I know that England reached the finals of the Euros last time, but
yes.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Can they do something good again? You're a supporter for the Netherlands, Ronnie, if we face them well. That's going to be an interesting face-off, isn't it? But then next week, of course, Wimbledon starts, and I'm a huge fan of that tournament.
Oh, of course it does, yeah. Parents love Wimbledon.
And
we've got a question for you in chat, Charlie.
Oh, yeah.
Sergio's asking, what's your favourite band from the 2000 era, like Jimmy Eat World or Andrew WK?
Oof.
So it doesn't necessarily need to be those two, but just, from that era where they were.
Very good question. Well, I mean, what I could say is, or maybe this is more 2010s, but my brother was in fact in a band, and Lee is familiar with this, as actually back in the day saw them play live, because we had this very strange coincidence moment when we sort of got to know each other properly in Gdansk, where we learned that Lee went to university around where my family is based. And so, yeah, back in the day, Lee will have seen my brother playing the drums in this band. And obviously was a big fan of the music they did, not just because it was my brother, but so many fond memories associated with it. And they had some good music going. But in terms of other bands, the noughties sort of era, I might have to reflect on that. It's difficult to remember back to actually which bands would have been playing around that time. What sort of other music would we have had there?
So it would have been like around the time where it depends what like music you were into, I guess, because you would have had like Blink, you would have had Jimmy World,
yes.
You would have had I'm thinking more towards like 2007 to 2010 sort of time.
Sure. I think I will say Fall Out Boy.
Fall Out Boy, that's a nice choice. I like their very first album. The second album wasn't too bad. It was like way more mainstream.
Yeah. I think it's
they're it's a good shout. It's a good shout. They're good live as well.
You sound disappointed with that with that choice, Lee.
No, it's all right. I mean, I would be disappointed with anything outside of Jimmy World, but I mean, you've got to have. No, I think Fall Out Boy is a good choice. I think Fall Out Boy is a solid choice. They had some banger tracks, didn't they, back in the day?
We've got
like Panic at the Disco.
Panic, yeah, that sort of thing. We've got Casey saying NSYNC, those kinds of bands. Yeah, that's probably a decade beforehand. But so the thing is, right, I wasn't listening so much to Fall Out Boy and those kinds of bands when I was that age, Panic either, but my brother definitely was, and sort of by osmosis, I got more interested in them, but it's more like looking back, or like now at a wedding or something, if Fall Out Boy were to be played, then I'm more there for the nostalgia reasons, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello, Rachel. Welcome into the chat. We're talking about favourite bands from the noughties.
So you can go very wrong with anything from around that time.
Yeah, true.
Obviously, evening stream, Callum. So yeah, I know it's been a long time since we streamed in an evening, so it's nice to jump back in. We've got a guest on tonight, and the main reason why I'm streaming tonight was so we could join Mr. Charlie Merriman. Because Charlie's doing Safari Week as well this week, so we're kind of doing a little bit of a call while we're both hunting in our respected games on our respected channels. Hopefully one of us will get a shiny tonight. Charlie's way ahead of me in resets, so I think Charlie's nearly at 10,000, but
yeah.
We're getting up to about 4,000, so we're not... Well, we are quite far behind.
Yeah, well... I very much appreciate you streaming this evening, Lee, so that we could hang out on call together. That's very kind of you, and I hope that you are rewarded for your efforts with a shiny.
As long as you get a shiny, mate, that'll be nice. Jerry Fairy, listen to a lot of Linkin Park.
Oh, Linkin Park, that's a good one. Casey, you're going to see Blink-182 next week. Oh my goodness, that is very exciting. Very exciting. You're working late, Rachel. No worries. Always a pleasure to see you whenever you can drop in. And thank you so much for filling in that. Introduce yourself in the Discord server. Can't wait to explore some of the things you said there a little bit more. Fall Out Boy's first albums, all killer, no filler. Well, there you go. Got a big old Fall Out Boy fan here. Yeah. And Shop Hitter Hunting is so chill. I'm not surprised, Ronnie. Yeah, they just come to you, don't they? So you're all good on that front. You're just paying attention if there's a sound. Fair enough.
Riley, Blink is awesome as an album making band. Live, they're a bit rough. I couldn't agree more. Like, I was the biggest Blink 182 fan growing up, and I've never been so disappointed seeing a live band ever.
Really? Wow.
Multiple times when I saw Blink, because Tom DeLonge cannot sing for toffee. He's terrible. He's a brilliant musician, brilliant lyricist, but he cannot sing.
Oh, wow.
And it's awful live.
Oh, dear. So, in the recording studio, is there just auto-tune, or does he just have more time and space to sort of get it right?
Melodyne or whatever they use now, probably to auto-tune his voice, I would imagine. But he can't replicate that live. There's no way.
Goodness.
And it pains me to say it, because like I do love... I mean, so obsessed with Blink-182. I had a friend at uni called Megan, and she was like a tour manager for... one of the bands it was on, I can't remember the name of the band, but they were on the Warped Tour, and she was at the Warped Tour one summer, and she bumped into Tom DeLonge, and I think I've got the picture on my Facebook page still, but she got Tom DeLonge to hold a sign saying Lee is cool, and she sent it to me, and it was a very cool moment. But yeah, Tom DeLonge was not great live. Even in Angels and Airwaves, it was always a little bit disappointing when I saw them. But I hope, Casey, you enjoy it, mate. I'm sure it'll be a brilliant gig nonetheless.
Well, we've now got Casey in chat saying this is making him a bit nervous, which is understandable, Casey, but let's hope that he exceeds expectations. And yeah, Angels and Airwaves, that is a name I have not heard for a very, very long time.
Plus, Mark Hoppus is a brilliant vocalist, so Mark can do everything that you would hear on an album perfectly live. So there's that side of it. So the more Mark sings, the better. Yeah,
I tell you what, Lee, I think I've got an answer that I'm more committed to than Fall Out Boy from that era. And this is a more niche band, but we'll see. There's a band called The Cab, and their genre was really good. It was kind of rocky, but also slightly more melodic. Check them out after the stream, because it's really enjoyed them. As in, I actually listened to them rather than Fall Out Boy, which is just sort of always on in the background.
It reminds me of a band called Death Cab for Cutie.
I thought you might say that. Yeah. And you saw Fall Out Boy a couple of years ago, Casey. They're a bit disappointing. They've lost their energy. They've gotten older. Well, we all do, Casey. We all do. It's a shame they haven't been able to sort of adapt their energy. I'm very glad, Casey. You know The Cab. Very cool. Glad that you're Glad that you're also a fan there. Yeah.
Fall Out Boy, when I saw them years ago, were just like one of them. They were so good live, like so good live. Even Panic were good. I remember watching Panic at the disco, like right after, like weeks after they launched their first album. And they did I Write Sins Not Tragedies at Leeds Festival, and they did they had like a full like orchestral band doing the intro to that track. It was absolutely insane. It was so cool. One of the coolest things I've seen.
That's amazing. Any kind of full live band is amazing. So actually, Lee, on Friday, with my girlfriend, we're going to see a band called the Cat Empire, and they... it's hard to describe their music. I'd sort of describe it as... It's not really any given genre, but I'd describe it as like fiesta funk. It's sort of party, almost Spanish vibes, but it's more like a collective than a band. It's all sorts of members that kind of come in and out as they go. But yeah, they've got a good positive energy and know how to get a crowd going, I think. So really looking forward to that.
Oh, that'd be amazing, mate. I'll get an absolutely blast time.
No.
Oh my gosh. Steinthor, I haven't got a shiny, but
okay.
Steinthor in our chat has been hunting Zygarde for a very long time, and they finally got shiny Zygarde. That is amazing.
Oh, wow.
Sword and Shield, the Dynamax Adventures. That's
huge.
Amazing. And not only that, they've been doing a shiny Living Dex quest, and it's now finally complete. Steinthor, my friend, congratulations. That is amazing to hear, mate. That is so cool.
That is absolutely incredible. You get the Zygarde, and you finish the Living Dex. I mean, incredible.
So I'm working on it since 2011.
Oh my word!
Amazing. Wow.
Okay.
I can't believe you're here now. We're streaming when you've done it. That's insane.
That is epic. That huge great. Was it Steinthor? Did you say?
Yeah.
Huge congratulations, Steinthor. That's absolutely huge achievement.
Amazing.
Yeah. And thank you for sharing that with us. That's wow. You can what a sigh of relief. You can rest easy tonight.
I know, yeah. What a tick box. That's like before ZA comes out as well. That's just incredible.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. That's amazing. I'm gonna take a video of Pokemon Home once it's done. Please do. I would love to see that.
Very excited for you. Wow, that kind of really puts into perspective, doesn't it, Lee? What we're doing here. We yet to find a shiny in Safari Week, and Steinthor has just completed that Living Dex.
Yeah, shiny Living Dex,
incredible. Amazing. Oh yeah, Luke, you did mention Kuringbin the other day, the morning after the Fiesta Funk. That's a very good way of describing anything. And you saw Fall Out Boy in a big arena, hard to interact with the crowd the way they used to. I see. Yeah, the arena can play a massive factor in how good a band is live. Yeah, wow. So, Lee, in this area of the Emerald Safari Zone where I'm hunting, the targets are so cool. So I'm going for Ledabur because I think Ledabur and Ledian are underrated. But you can also get Houndour, Miltank, Pineco, you can get Sunkern, Teddiursa. I'm forgetting some as well. But the targets are all so good, so I'd be thrilled with any of those.
Oh, they're all solid targets on there, especially the Houndour as well.
Yeah.
Like I've got Houndoom appearing in my area of the Safari in Hot Gold, in one of my spots with the Girafarig, the Manectric.
Nice.
The Houndour would be such a good shiny to get as well. Even the Miltank as well. Nice one. But I agree with you about Ladian. That's definitely an underrated one. I think Ladian deserves a Mega Evolution. Maybe gets it in CA.
Yeah, I was surprised. Spinarak is in Kitakami, but Ledabur is not. I feel like that's just sort of a salt in the wound there. I hope that Ledabur does get some kind of return that it deserves relatively soon. But maybe for next year's Safari Week, I'll look more into, like you have, placing the blocks in the Johto Safari Zone and all of the different encounters that can unlock, because there are some really, really cool ones.
It's just that you need to, like, for the more rare ones, like the Bagon, the Beldon, the Gibble, you've got to wait so many. You've got to put the respective blocks into the specific area, and then you have to wait a set amount of days
Mm.
for those blocks to level up. So for instance, Dusclops in the mountain area where I am hunting for the Larvitar, you need to put like, I think 18 forest objects or 20 forest objects, and then wait 20 days then to level up, and then the Dusclops will start to appear. Whereas like if you want Gibble, you've got to wait 200 days, I think, for it to start to appear.
Oh my goodness.
So those
Wow.
objects have to be in that place in the Safari Zone for 200 days. And there's no way to get around that. You can't do any tricks with the clock or anything.
Yeah.
It's got to be brutal.
Yeah,
Because I
really brutal.
really would like to hunt Bagon. If I'm honest, that would be one of the real ones that I would have loved to have gone after. But I think it's around 70 days, maybe more than 70 days.
Wow.
Crazy.
I kind of love that you've got to have that commitment if you want to find the Pokemon in the Safari Zone. But yeah, it's sort of a... if anything, like immediately after this Safari Week, we've got to be thinking about what might we want to find next year in the Johto Safari Zone to get the stuff in place so we know that the encounters will be ready.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
Amazing, got to really do that prep.
Yeah.
Well, we've had loads of Tauros appearing in the Fire Red, but obviously none of them shiny. But can you imagine shiny Tauros in the Safari Zone? Oh, my goodness.
That would be amazing. Did you know as well, I think what we were talking about over here, Charlie, is ending the week. I'm going to do, you might be confused by this, but I'm going to do shiny hunting in Pokemon Red Safari Zone to end the week off.
Very interesting. Now, I know that if you trade certain... it's determined by values, and if you trade certain Pokemon into Generation 2, they will appear shiny, but to my understanding, it could only be static encounters that would allow that certain set of values for a Pokemon to be shiny in Generation 1, but maybe there's something I don't know.
Yeah, it's not just static Pokemon. So any Pokemon can have that combination of DVs, which is the equivalent to IVs in the new game. They only run from like 1 to 15 in Generation 1. But there's a plugin that you can use, and I believe it's only with the Virtual Console Pokemon Red. It's not the original, which I thought it was originally. But it's like a plugin that you can use, and so that will never appear as a shiny, because obviously shinies didn't exist in that game. But it will detect the DVs of that Pokemon, and if it is the correct DV spread, the screen flashes. I think Riley was saying someone was using it yesterday and got a shiny Execute.
Oh, wow.
Pokemon Red, and then traded it over to Gold and Silver, and it was a shiny.
That is very cool.
They traded it in. So
Wow.
very cool.
That's exciting. And Casey, you're so right with the getting Safari Zone set up for next year for Johto with if Bank is closing. That's it's that might put a spanner in the works. We'll have to see. But wow, as I said, I heard it could only be static encounters, so or like fishing. But wow, okay, that brings a whole new level to Safari Week.
Yeah, especially like I think that the big thing would be getting a plugin for the GB operator, which I think is being worked on at the minute. Someone's working on it, so probably by next year's Safari Week, it'll probably be ready. If you've got a GB operator, you could probably use the actual physical red cartridge to shiny hunt in Pokemon Red, which is just crazy to think of.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay, we've just surpassed 9,900 encounters. So,
very good, mate.
Is it going to come before 10,000? I mean, I hope so.
Has to.
That Sapphire Dream Team quest I mentioned, all of the finds were under odds. It was amazing.
Really?
So, to be honest, I'm kind of due this longer drought. But, that's it. It can be fickle, the way it works.
That is brutal. I hope it's not too far over odds, mate, because obviously you are over odds now, but I'm hoping it doesn't go on too much longer before you hit that. You strike gold and get the shiny.
I know.
Oh, it can be painful, I know.
It can be. Well,
through, mate.
Yeah, we'll just have to see. But streaming makes it all worthwhile, you know, just hang out with lovely chat, throwing in their nice inspirational messages, hearing about everyone's days, having a discussion topics going, hanging out with you, Lee, hang out with Quick Panic on Friday. Yeah, it really does make the encounters fly by. So
Yeah.
Appreciate all of you for being here.
Mate.
Yeah.
Definitely makes it a lot easier than just grinding by yourself, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Taking an experience of it all, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Lee,
Sunshine, yes.
do you have... We've been having all sorts of discussion topics this previous week, like favourite Pokemon of a certain type and things like that. What's your favourite grass-type Pokemon?
My favourite grass type? Well, that's really tough. That's really tough. The first one that I would think of, probably Vileplume, that would come to my mind. I've always been a big Vileplume fan, so I'd probably say Vileplume is going to be the one.
Nice. Immediately came to mind there. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Always been a big Vileplume fan, so I always wished that it would be good competitively, so I could use it.
I did see, this was probably back in Regulations at F, but I did see... It was in an Aaron Zheng video. An opponent had Vileplume on the team, and I'm trying to remember what sort of moveset it was, but I assume it was sleep powder stuff. But yeah, so I mean, you can try, but yeah, might be an uphill struggle.
The problem is with it is normally if you're using it as your chlorophyll user with sleep powder, normally at the same time Venusaur's available, and Venusaur's just like hands down better. So it's always like, I like Venusaur, so I never really mind, but it would always be kind of cool to use Vileplume in a competitive deal, but I don't know. Maybe it gets a Mega. You never know. It is one of those Generation 1 Pokemon, and they do tend to like favouring Generation 1 Pokemon over the other generations, so it might be a chance to get a Mega Evolution.
That's interesting. I hadn't thought about that, but yeah, I guess you're right.
Oh no, Rowan X, how are you doing, mate? Not doing Safari Zone, but did fail a shiny Terrakion last night.
Oh no!
I'm so sorry to hear that. That is so sad. Are you going to be going for the reclaim on that one? And I hope it wasn't too many resets in. I definitely feel your pain after recently failing both Raikou and Entei myself. I can definitely relate to you, so I'm really sorry to hear that, my friend.
Oh, goodness.
And, some good luck in being able to reclaim that.
Ah, Sean, hello. Very good to see you. Welcome to the chat. Thank you so much for stopping by and hopping in. It's always wonderful to see new people joining alongside. How are you? Are you managing to keep cool? That's the question on everyone's lips. It's absolutely boiling at the moment, but very good to have you on stream. So you said Raikou and Shiny Raikou and Entei were you failed late.
Yes, Danny, bring Vileplume for Oddish. He would appreciate that for sure.
You have an aircon unit, so the office is cool. Well, I'm very glad to hear that, Sean. Very glad to hear it. Now we are approaching 10,000 encounters, as you can see, Sean. And still no shiny. So we're hoping that it's coming tonight. It's been an absolutely crazy day releasing the Chazingdra Chats episode with Matt Absol Blogs Pokemon. And then recording with Out of Pocket, the NAIC Go Champ. So, yeah, I've started a little bit late, but because of that crazy energy, I just feel like that shiny is coming tonight. And I hope that the people there in your chat, Lee, have listened to our interview that we did way back at the beginning of the podcast. Had a fantastic time talking to my friend Lee, as always.
Did. I'm not sure if everyone had listened to it. It was a lot of fun, though. Of course, like, it was amazing being on, especially for the first episode as well. Had some banger guests on since as well, being really good. So, no, it was really nice being the first person to kick off the journey with the podcast, and it's been really good, mate. So, yeah, like you say, you've got your new one up today. I'll have to have a listen to that one. It sounds very interesting.
Cheers, bud. Yeah, Matt was a great guest. He really approached threading through his 6 chosen Pokemon as well as his life story topics in a completely different way. And he's someone who I said this in my post today as well, promoting it. He's been making videos for YouTube for 14 years. So you can, if you go back to the start of his channel, you can just watch him grow up. And so there are very few people who sort of have that experience. And Sean, thank you so much for the love there. I'm pleased that you're enjoying the podcasts because it's a lot of fun to do them. So yeah, it's wonderful to hear that they are being well received.
Yeah, 14 years is a long, long time, isn't it?
Yeah. Since the age of, I think he was 14, actually, when he started. So,
Wow.
yeah, absolutely crazy. Thank you for the shiny vibes there as well, Sean. And Casey, so divergent forms would be fun. So ground poison version or completely opposite fire Vileplume would be cool. I remember there was a lot of talk about like a pineapple regional form of Oddish for Paldea, which would be interesting as well.
Yeah, I remember seeing that
Yeah.
random leak here that never came to anything.
Yeah, but yeah, it's always fun to imagine regional variants. Let's ask this question to chat. What regional variants would you like to see? What do you think would be a cool new type to give an existing Pokemon? I think the possibilities are endless here, really. But yeah,
we need Fire and Fairy. I think that's a type that we haven't really had, and I think that's one that I would love to see. Fire Fairy.
Okay, so who would be a Fire Fairy? I'm thinking like some kind of Tiki vibe for that would be cool. Which makes me think of Darmanitan. That's already got Galarian, but then again, Meowth has 2 different, or maybe 3 different regional variants as well. So you could see it.
Fairy type that would be a good fire type as well.
Oh, Incineroar, says Sean. Yeah, just completely flip the script on Incineroar. The only way I can imagine a fairy type Incineroar is literally exactly as it is now, as a wrestler, but just wearing sort of almost dress-up fairy flappy wings on its back.
Just big like fairy wings on its back.
Yeah, and with a tiara and like holding a little wand with a star on it or something.
Yeah. We've got a regional Dragonite from Tony in chat.
Ooh.
We've got Grimmsnarl being Fire Fairy would be sick. That could actually work.
Ooh, I could see that.
And Danny with the Ghost Evolution, which I think everyone would be very keen on because any sort of new evolution would be amazing. We're very overdue one. I still kind of stand by. I think if we do get one, we'll get a Dragon Evolution. I think that's the last one that we need in that, like, you know, the physical special split. We've got all the special evolutions except Dragon. I feel like that will be the one that we would get.
Ah, interesting. Yeah. That's cool. And yeah, it could be a ballet dancer instead of a wrestler, Casey. I really like Hisui and Lilligant's design as a result of that. It's a great shiny as well, actually. We've just surpassed 10,000 encounters, everyone. Let's get some hype going. 10,000 and counting to get this shiny.
Gotta happen soon. Got to happen soon, mate.
To.
Has to.
Yeah, let's hope so. Let's hope
that
so.
Rich Incineroar as a babyface wrestler like that, yeah.
We've immediately all...
How are you doing, mate? Good to see you.
Hisui and Lilligant, one of your favourite regional forms running. I'm not surprised. I might agree with you there. It's really cool.
Regional Delphox Fire Fairy. That's
oh,
very
yeah.
true.
Yeah, I can see that.
Very terror typing as well as a Mightiest Mox, so that could be a big nod, maybe.
That's a very good point. And also, I do like the Fire Fairy Grimmsnarl idea, because, yeah, all that hair it has, maybe it could just be surrounded by flames instead. And yeah, that could be cool. Or, like,
maybe
what about...
the hair turns to, like, wax, and then the wax is what and then that's
love it.
Sets up fire.
Absolutely love it. What about what was I going to say? Yeah, a Fire Fairy regional variant of Houndoom, which obviously would have to be called something else, but it's like a happy fire puppy instead of a gloomy fire puppy.
What would be the alternative of Doom? It would be like Houndjoy.
It could be Houndazzle or something, or Houndust, Fairy Dust, something like that. But then again, so a Hellhound is like a recognised thing from literature and things, but I don't know what sort of happy hounds there would be, because there are plenty of happy puppy kind of Pokemon, I guess. Alolan Vulpix, yes, of course, that is a very popular regional variant line. The shiny better not flee after all these encounters. I know, Casey, but that is the risk that we run.
That would be the worst, mate.
I don't know. We'll, as I said, last year I failed both the Nidorino and the Venonat, so yeah, it could happen. But then again, both of those, I wasn't counting encounters last year, but both of those presumably came fairly under odds because I found 2 in that one Safari week.
Were you counting how many encounters you had for those, or was it just...
No, I wasn't. No, I was just hunting fairly... Oh, I don't... Maybe I was, actually. I could dig out the old... counter on my phone and see if I was, but I guess the flip side would be, you know, encounters that happen quicker, but they flee, versus potentially this year a far longer phase, but we're able to catch it. I don't know. And all of it would be worthwhile if we catch like a shiny pincer or something, so
would be,
I just would not mind. It would be incredible. What locals regionals am I planning to attend as a competitor this season? Well, don't know what they are yet. That's the crucial thing there, Sean. But yeah, I'll have to see. It's always difficult, and I'm sure Lee finds this as well. It's always difficult to sort of work out which ones you're going to play, because when you're casting, sometimes you just want a weekend to yourself, and you're travelling around casting the regionals and trying to sort of budget for the energy to then go and compete at a regional as well, when sometimes you just want just a bit of downtime, a weekend at home. It can be difficult to work out. So for me, it's very much just sort of go with the flow, see what happens, and it's going to have to be a fairly spur-of-the-moment decision, I think, because it's hard to work out in advance how much energy you're going to have, really.
Yeah, it is difficult, isn't it? And it really does take a lot out of you going out and doing the casting, because it's not just the Saturday and Sunday. There's like, especially for us, we have like pre-filming day in the lead up to that weekend, and then you've got the prep day, you've got your rehearsals, and then you've got the actual event as well. So there's a lot, and I don't know like about the other casters so much, but I generally don't sleep so well when I'm away. Sometimes I do, generally not as well as I would do at home. So then there's the added effect. So you're even more tired. So yeah, it's sometimes after an event you're like, I need just the next 3 weeks just to recoup before the next one.
Yeah, maybe.
The last thing on your mind sometimes to be like, I'm going to this place in like a few days' time. So yeah.
Yeah, unless you're Costa Dynamos, who just sort of finds the energy reserves from who knows where.
Yeah.
But day 2's Bologna. And you've reminded me, Lee, actually, of in Liverpool. I remember you didn't emerge at breakfast one morning. We texted to ask if you were okay, and you had that window that wouldn't shut properly or something in your room.
Oh my God, that was horrendous, that hotel room.
And you had the wind howling through. I felt so bad for you.
Yeah, it was like I couldn't sleep. So the hotel room I had in Liverpool was the window seal wouldn't actually close properly, and it was like there was a storm that night, right? And it was like the craziest winds, but the way the window was like not able to close, the wind was just like blowing through the window in my room and making the biggest howl. So it was whistling so loud, like I couldn't have my iPad on the bed next to me and hear it properly without it being like nearly max volume, which is just so crazy. That's how loud it was. So I literally did not sleep at all really that night. It was like I maybe got a couple of hours, so I was ruined the next day. But thankfully I think the wind died down after that night, and it wasn't bad. So the rest of the weekend was all right. But that first night was like horrendous. Yeah, it was awful.
Oh dear. Yeah. So hopefully you don't always sleep as badly as that. But yeah, that was a bad one.
Pretty rough.
Yeah. And in terms of locals, Sean, locals that's a different ball game, isn't it? We'll have to see. The thing is, there don't tend to be that many locals near me. If there were, I'd be going to locals far more commonly, but we'll just have to see. The only local I did this season was when I was in Belgium, because Ben Kiriakou and I were out helping Simon van der Bucht with the local he organised, and that was a lot of fun, and came third with Frostmoth, which I am very pleased with, and I still have all the footage for that. I still need to put the video together, but there are just so many other things to work on. I'm working on our Bologna vlog as well, Lee.
Very nice.
Very sort of slowly. Hopefully I'll have more time to work on that tomorrow, actually. But just have so many bits of content lined up that I want to do, and it's just finding the time.
It's all good, mate. It's all good. Like, keep that flow of content coming out.
Yeah. And
I look forward to watching that one. You remember, I don't know if it was you or if it was just me and Marcus in Bologna, about the weird beds that we had in our room, and like how if you press them down the wrong way, the bed like rose up, and it was like almost up to chest height, the bed. And I was like, I did it the first night when we got there, and I like touched the bed like in a weird way, like I pressed down on it, and the bed just like sort of came out and like moved up, and it was like up to here on my chest, me standing up, and I was like panicking, like how am I meant to get into this bed? It's like it's so high. I was like For like 5 minutes, I was like, "What have I done? I don't
Yeah.
think this is right." Then I figured it was just you could put it back down, but
Oh my
like the
goodness.
weirdest thing, I don't know why you would ever need a bed that did that.
So-
Just didn't ever like. There's nothing that it could make sense of that would like be like that. That's why that bed did that.
So that never happened to me, fortunately. But that's hilarious. Imagine falling out of bed in the middle of the night. That would be
That's what I was thinking of. I was
That'd
like,
be
if I
brutal.
roll out of bed at this height, I'll definitely do some damage.
Yeah.
That was
I'm glad glad the
Looks
vlog
like that.
looked good to you, Sean. Do go and check it out if you have a spare moment. It was a great time being in Belgium with Shimon. And welcome everyone to the chat if you're just joining. We're here with Lee Provost, fellow VG caster, Osiris VGC as well, very well-respected content creator, and we're just hanging out, sharing some casting stories, generally discussing with both chats, and making the encounters fly by. So welcome in, and
Hello,
thanks so much for being
everyone.
here.
Charlie's stream. We've got a question for you here, Charlie.
Yes.
How would you describe brown sauce that you guys have over there in England?
And thank you so much for watching that, by the way, Sean. I'm glad you enjoyed it. So, it's very kind of you. Brown sauce. How would we describe brown sauce? I think it's like tangy ketchup.
That's a good description, yeah. That is, yeah. Tangy ketchup, which is brown.
It's great. Brown sauce is lovely.
Brown sauce is very good. Well, Vol, how are we doing tonight? I hope you're well. No shinies just yet, my friend, but we are hoping to grab something. And Sean, what Chris Martin story are you referring to, mate?
Love that. Chris Martin story. They've got a new single out, haven't they, Coldplay?
A lot, mate. Yeah, I think, they must do. I think they do. They're playing Glastonbury this weekend. I think they're headlining on the Saturday night.
Yeah.
Again, like the millionth time that they're headlining Glastonbury.
Yeah. What a problem to have, eh? Oh, we keep headlining Glastonbury.
I know, yeah. Again. Oh, God. Yeah. They're a great band, and great band live. They're amazing.
Is beans on toast a pretty regular breakfast meal for? Well, it could be, Casey. I wouldn't want to have beans on toast every day. I gather it's actually a relatively balanced meal, beans on toast. But I personally, my go-to breakfast is porridge, actually. Simple, does the trick, maybe some nuts in it, maybe some fruit as well. I rarely have full English stuff anymore. I can't remember the last time I had baked beans, actually. What's your go-to breakfast, Lee?
Porridge as well, mate. Yeah. I like to have like Greek yogurt in it. And maybe some fruit in it. Like I normally have like blueberries or raspberries or sometimes banana in it or something like that. So that sort of thing, mate. It's the best, I think. But
it's a really good option.
Part of full English, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. It's because porridge is filling, but it's also it's healthy. It's good for you. Nuts and seeds and oats. It's not like you can't really. I don't think you can go too wrong having porridge most days for breakfast, whereas certainly with a full English you could. You have heard that you need to have beans on toast when you come to England. Yes, it's worth a try. It's interesting that that's what you've heard, beans on toast, rather than like fish and chips or like
a carvery or something.
Yeah, just try a full English or something like that. But
and beans on toast, yeah.
Yeah, and that's a really good point, Sean, actually. Yeah, bacon in the UK tends to be quite different from bacon in the US because we tend to have it slightly, I guess I'd say meatier rather than crispier. And I personally prefer that. I prefer it when it's got a bit of got a bit more meat to it rather than just the just crispy.
The Chris Martin party story. Well, it involves it's not really a story, really. It's just Chris Martin played. He did a cover of "Get Lucky" by Daft Punk at Michael Eavis's 80th birthday party, and it was amazing. And I was maybe 2 arm lengths away from him, but he didn't sing like he does when he's in Coldplay. It was probably the best version of "Get Lucky" I've ever heard in my entire life. he was playing, and it was a live band as well that were doing it. So there was, he was doing that. Lily Allen was playing, Billy Bragg, someone else as well. I can't remember who the other one was. But yeah, there was a bunch of really high profile celebs there singing, and it was amazing. It was an absolutely amazing night.
I remember you talking about that it might have been the Rapidash round, your bonus bit, the Patreon bonus content for the podcast. But yeah, that was amazing to hear.
Yeah, that was an amazing night, and there was like food vans and all the free, all the food that you wanted. It was just an incredible evening. It's it'll be Michael's 90th soon, but I don't think he's too well. So
that's a shame.
Sad. So hopefully, he's doing all right and stuff. And obviously got the festival this weekend. Fascinating story. Yeah, it was, mate. Yeah, Canadian bacon, crispy bacon is the best. I prefer crispy bacon, I gotta say.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah, if I have bacon, it's gotta be like a bit crispy. Like I'm not like a fan of that. You know what I really don't like is if the fat is not crispy and like the fat's like it's almost like an elastic band.
I see.
Like, that makes me feel like I'm like, nah, I can't deal with that. But, nah.
Interesting. I feel like for a bacon sandwich, you want it to be a bit more like that, but maybe I'm wrong. I'm wrong.
I don't know. And a runny egg as well. Like if the white of the egg is not cooked, I can't handle that. I don't know what you're like, because like I know a lot of people like an egg sunny side up, and it's like almost like jelly on top, and I'm like, that makes me feel a bit sick.
I
remember when I was younger, I was over at a friend's house, and their mum cooked me a fried egg sandwich. Like, do you want a fried egg sandwich? And I was like, yes, please. And she brought it, and I remember I was like, do you have any ketchup? Because I like ketchup in it when I was younger, especially. Still do now. But I remember opening the bread to put the ketchup on, and when I opened the bread, it was like this, like, oh my god, it was like, it's making me feel sick right now thinking of it. It was just like stringy between the bread. When I opened it up, it was so gloopy. I was like, but I was so polite, I couldn't say anything, and I like every mouthful. I ate the sandwich, and every mouthful I was like almost gagging because I was like just thinking about it. I was like, I can't believe that I have to eat this, but I ate it and didn't say anything. So I was like, I don't want to be impolite and say that I can't eat this. I just ate it.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Wow.
That was definitely an experience.
I don't think I have as extreme a reaction to you. I don't really mind when it comes to eggs, to be honest. But that would explain, Casey, why your other half prefers bacon like that. And Sean, that's a very kind offer from you, Sean. Thank you so much. We'll have to see how the season shakes out. But thank you, Sean. And speaking of being polite in front of friends' parents, that reminds me of when I was very young, maybe like, I don't know, I want to say like 11 or something like that. And I was around a friend's house, and my friend Ross's mum was very, very strong Scottish accent. And she said something to me. She was like, Charlie, who's here? And I didn't have a clue. So I said, sorry? And she said it again. I didn't understand. I asked her to repeat it 4 times. Before I realised I cannot ask her to repeat it anymore. And so I just said yes. So who knows what I said yes to. But
I wonder what she was asking you.
Yeah, no. It was unbelievable. Normally the 3rd time, and she was slowing down as well. She was trying to make me understand. But it was not happening. Oh dear.
Oh man.
So
what have we got? I remember being served some really nasty crud from family friends, but never refusing or complaining. My own mum would smack me. I always feel like it would be like one of those things where just like I wouldn't want to offend anyone, so I would just be like, I'm just gonna suck up. And this is a thing where it's not gonna kill me or anything, but I just felt like I couldn't have been that old, maybe like 11. And I just remember being like, I like every mouthful though, I remember like biting into it and just thinking about me pulling the bread apart and this just stringy egg. And I'm just like gagging and just being like, yeah, there was never enough tea in that situation to like wash it down. It was horrible, yeah. But not great. And people in southern US love floppy, fatty bacon. Gross.
I
There we go.
kind of prefer that. And got a mechanized Maxis raid going on. Hello, raiders. Welcome in. Thank you for thank you for raiding this chat. Welcome. Hope you enjoy the shiny hunting. Hope you enjoy the Safari Week. We are at 10,200 exactly encounters now. And still no shiny, but it's happening tonight. It's happening tonight. We're doing very well. I hope you guys are doing well as well. And I hope you're all staying cool in this very warm weather. So, Lee, if you...
Yes.
What would be your second choice find after Larvitar?
Probably the Manectric, I think. Yeah, I love shiny Manectric. I mean, it'd probably between that and this Mago, but... yeah, I'd probably say Manectric, I think. I think Manectric would be an absolute amazing find.
Yeah, it would be really cool.
Safari Ball. It would be so good.
Yeah, and thank you. I appreciate the love for hunting by hand on console. Yeah, just do it the classic way, and we'll see. It hasn't really provided me much luck so far, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, I've been thinking about this quite a lot. The you did Safari Week last year. BDSP was the game you played for it, but you were doing Dynamax Adventures. Respect the physical hand on multi-arm. Well, thank you very much. And yeah, last year in Safari Week, I was saying I found Nidorino and Venonat both in Fire Red. They were both fails, even the Venonat. But if we were to reclaim this year, that would be really epic. But we'll have to see. Yeah, Manectric is a shiny that obviously goes. It's darker than its original colouring, and there aren't too many of those in Pokemon. And I feel like for that reason they're very coveted.
It's almost black in like Scarlet and Violet, I feel. Well, not Scarlet and Violet, but Sword and Shield.
Ah, right, yeah.
You know, like, it's such a cool shiny that I really like the sprite of it in Gen 4. It's got a really nice Gen 4 sprite. It'd be a really good one to nab if I could. But honestly, mate, I think if I'm being completely honest with you, I think anything that pops up shiny in the Safari Zone would be a bonus.
Yeah.
I won't be like super picky, but I'm kind of hoping it's one of the targets.
Yeah, of course.
So a repeat of your Survivor luck would be ideal.
Yeah, let's hope so. And you got no shiny last year, Manamaxis, but you got Pokerus. That is very cool. That's something that I've been meaning to check after each of the hunts if I've got Pokerus. So, yeah, I need to remember to do that. Yeah, we were talking about Pokemon competition and going to locals, regionals. For the Raiders and everyone else who has just joined, I've got Lee Provost on call. We are both Pokemon VGC commentators as well as content creators. Yes, Lee says good evening. And so, yeah, we're hanging out and sharing stories of casting and things. So, yeah, we sort of got our start, so to speak, in the competitive aspect of Pokemon, so to speak. And so whenever it comes to attending competitions and playing them, it's working out what we can make fit alongside our casting responsibilities and schedule. So yeah, we'll just have to see how the new season shakes out, basically.
Yeah, and what the new CP bars and all that jazz will be, because that'll probably get announced, I would imagine, quite soonish, with the season starting on the 1st of July. So we should get to know all those intricate details of how next season's going to work, which would be really interesting, because we've had changes to Premier Challenges, now Challenge Cups, right?
Yes, yeah, that sort of thing.
Yeah, so
League Cups.
All those different changes going into next season, which is...
yeah, we'll have to see.
Interesting changes, yeah.
And yeah, the casting definitely is a lot of fun. Manamaxes, thank you. Yeah, we have a good time on the events, and it's always a pleasure to hang with Lee. So it's great to have Lee here right now, chilling out. And you really want to get back to VG planning. You've fallen off for a while, but it's so much fun. Yeah, it definitely is. Definitely is a lot of fun. There are just so many Pokemon to explore, and I think one of my favourite things about it is we can rotate away from a format, and potentially no one's actually found the best archetype or an archetype that could be really strong, just because there are so many things to explore. There are so many different abilities and Pokemon that maybe people wouldn't even think about competitively, but there are so many options that it could well work. Don't know.
So true as well. Like that I think because we only get these like short bursts of a format where they are 3 months. I mean, we're having a bit longer with Regulation G, which is nice, but normally a short burst of a format, you don't really get the full time to really delve into the cycles that you would normally get with a format developing to the point where you are kind of ending up at a format after, what, say 6 to 9 months, where there is just one definitive team or 2, 3 maybe max definitive teams that are really at the top of the tree in that specific format, because we're just not given the time anymore for that kind of development, which is a little bit of a shame, but I guess it's just how they change and cycle through.
Yeah, it's got to be a balance. It's got to be a balance, hasn't it, between not letting a format get stale and also giving people enough time to really explore its depth.
I almost feel now they've kind of like, it's almost to the point where the players are now going to be expecting it to be a 3-month cycle, and if they go any longer than that, I don't know if players would like that, because they're so used to a cycle, like the format changing. If you go 4 or 5 months of a format, which is totally normal, right? I wonder if then it just becomes so stale that you have like big periods of drop off towards those latter stages of a format. That's what kind of worries me about. They haven't got things in place after GS Cup, because that's naturally where it's going to go in September. I mean, it might go a different direction, but I would imagine it's going to be full GS Cup. And where do you go from there? Like, you can't do full GS Cup for an entire year. You just can't. Because people are going to get so bored of it, I think.
We've got Melotix Melons. The Gen 10 should have every gimmick come back. Well, that would definitely be an interesting one. And
thank you so much for coming by the stream, mate. I hope you enjoy your golf, and I'll hopefully catch you tomorrow, mate. Take care of yourself, my friend. Yeah, thanks again for coming by tonight.
Hopefully no new super mechanics in Gen 10. We'll have to see what Gen 10 holds, but yeah, and you've turned on your Heart Gold now, Rani, to try and find a shiny starter. All the best of luck to you. I did find a shiny Totodile in Heart Gold last week, which was so exciting. So I hope that you get some of that luck too. Yeah, I was watching Quick Panic's sort of culmination video of his shiny badge quest, and he also had shiny for Alligator on Heart Gold, and then on Heart Gold I find shiny Totodile. It's so strange. So maybe that will be the start of a shiny badge quest for me on Heart Gold. I don't know.
Very, very cool.
Yeah, you're a competitive battler. Melotix Melon's cool. Shiny Toto, nice. Yeah, Totodile is my favourite of the Johto first partner Pokemon. So yeah, that was quite a find.
Led Zeppelin, Sergio, for sure.
And
yeah, Charlie, I'm going to say Gen 10 new mechanic is going to be fusions.
Fusions?
Yeah.
Of Pokemon? Fusions. Wow. Haha. That would... Oh, my goodness.
That... I kind of had it teased with, like, Kyurem and, Kyurem White, Kyurem Black.
Yeah, true.
Calyrex versions as well. We've had it teased a little bit to now.
As long as they do it in an authentically Pokemon way, then I'm on board. Like, with Calyrex just riding the horse, that's fine. We don't want it to go like full Transformers, but yeah, be interesting to see how it works.
Yeah.
And you do singles more. You do think of VGC relatively well. Melons, okay, nice singles, quite a different format, but yeah, we've got a couple of upvotes, so to speak, for fusions here. And we had Casey asking earlier, does it take, when you're casting with the NA Casters League, does it take much time to get used to each other after being with the European team, or not?
Nah, not at all, really. No, it's... Every caster is different to one another despite the region, so everyone will just take they have their different ways of working, how they are behind the desk, but there's no differences, no difficulties and things, and then sometimes you just get paired up with someone that you just sync with like super well, really quickly, really easily, so it's more down to the person rather than the different region, I would say.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
There you go. And yeah, I'm not surprised that your brain is fried after streaming Metamaxes. Hope you chill out well tonight. And Mateo, hello, welcome back. Thanks so much for joining. No, as you can see, we're at 10,300 encounters now, and no shiny. So we've got Lee Provost here on call, though, fellow VG caster, who Osiris VGC, of course, as well on YouTube, who or just Osiris, in fact, and hopefully bringing the luck tonight. And we're both going for Larvitar in the Johto Safari Zone, so
We are indeed.
we'll see
But on that
who can get
note,
it.
mate, I'm probably going to have to shoot off. So,
Yes, fair enough.
I couldn't stay on for like a huge amount of time tonight. But,
No worries.
I need to get finished up before 10 o'clock. So
No worries.
on that bombshell, mate, I will say thank you. We'll try and do it again through the week if you're still going for your hunts. But it'll be nice if we can jump on another day as well and maybe do a bit longer. But no, it's been a lot of fun tonight, mate. So thank you for having me on your channel, and thanks for coming over here. It's, hopefully we can do it again sometime.
Yeah, absolutely. No, a pleasure to hang with you as always, Lee. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of your stream. Thank you for streaming tonight so that we could do this. And yeah, let's link up about when we might be able to do this again. But thank you, Lee's chat, for listening as well. Pleasure to hang with you all, and hope to see you all very shortly.
Yes. All right, mate. I'll catch up with you soon. All right.
All right. Sleep well, my man.
Take it easy, mate.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.
All right then, chat. That was nice, wasn't it? Having Lee here. Yeah, a lot of fun streaming with someone else, especially when these encounters are flying by. But nice to have that little boost of energy while going through all of these encounters. And Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur, yeah, that would be interesting. Same for every set of starters. That would be so interesting. See how that works out. Sergio, hello. Welcome into the chat. Very good to see you. I don't know if you just hopped over from Lee's stream, but either way, thank you so much for being here tonight. Ramones or The Clash? I've got to be honest with you, I am not entirely familiar with their work, really, so I can't answer that. I do live in England, Melostix Melons. Yes, I do. I am based in England. Yeah, I was born in Singapore, though, actually. Yeah. But have lived in England for the vast majority of my life. And yes, you did have over from Lee's stream. Well, thank you so much for joining, Sergio. Very much appreciate it. Let's see if Lee's has given us the boost that we need to get the luck for a shiny tonight. Luck be a shiny tonight. You can name like 5 Ramones songs. You only know one song from The Clash. Okay. I was thinking of Luck Be a Lady Tonight there from Guys and Dolls, I think it is. Which made me think of the Simpsons spoof of that. Luke be a Jedi tonight. Luck be a shiny tonight. In Singapore, that's right. That's right, Shadow. Yeah, Ronnie. Iron Maiden or Judas Priest? Yeah, again, Sergio, I think I'm going to disappoint you here. I definitely am more familiar or have heard of Iron Maiden better than I have with Judas Priest. But no, I don't really know those songs, I'm afraid. Sorry. But tell me what music or songs you like from those bands. I'd love to hear. Generally, anyone's favourite artists, favourite bands, do chuck them in chat. We can talk about the music that are our preferences. That is our preferences. Our preferences. Ronnie, how is the hunt going with the Sharpedo and the Heart Gold? Hope the encounters are flying by for the Sharpedo as it keeps running into you. What music am I into? I see. Just trying to get to know. No worries at all, Sergio. No worries at all. So, what music am I into? I like a broad range, to be honest. I like jazz. I like 80s. A lot of 80s music. So, your Fleetwood Macs, your, what else? Like Phil Collins, Paul Simon, that sort of thing. I love Peter Gabriel. That's like my favourite artist. And, yeah, definitely like living a few decades ago in terms of the music that I listen to. And still no shinies for you. 80s and late 70s. Yeah, exactly, Sergio. And pasta or pizza? I'm going to say pasta. I think pasta is sort of more repeatable, so to speak. Pizza, I think you could... I'd need a break from pizza more often than I need a break from pasta, put it that way. Yeah, thank you again for hopping over, Sergio. How about you? What's your background? So you've hopped over from Lee's stream, but where are you based? Are you a competitive player? Are you a casual player? Are you a shiny hunter? What's your story? Oh, Phil Collins or Genesis? I've heard more Phil Collins than I have Genesis. And I will say Phil Collins because over lockdown I went back and explored all these singers' back catalogues. And absolutely, yeah, devoured Phil Collins' music. That was before I devoured Peter Gabriel's music. But yeah, I then compiled like a Phil Collins playlist, which I really enjoy listening to. His greatest hits, in my opinion. Yeah, I highly recommend it. Any bands that you like, but you're not so familiar with their entire back catalogue, I recommend going back through it. You'll discover some gems. Plus, then, when someone asks you about your favourite artists, you can say a really niche song that no one else has heard of and sound that much more refined. I'm joking, of course, but yeah. Any other 80s music fans in the chat? You're Texas USA. I see. You're a casual player. Delve into shiny hunts. Shiny hunting Horsey on Violet. You said that to the right person, my friend. Got the entire Horsey line-ass plush behind me here. Kingdra is my favourite Pokemon. And Horsey's shiny is great. I love that deeper turquoise colour. Then Seadra is a really interesting colour as well. Then Kingdra going the violet. Really, really nice. Rachel, yeah, 80s music is so the one. Thank you for hopping back into chat, Rachel. Yeah, I think there's been a real return to the 80s vibe in recent years as well. Partly thanks to shows like Stranger Things, I guess, and like Kate Bush. But nothing really hits that positive energy better than 80s music. I was saying to Lee earlier that on Friday I'm going to see a band called The Cat Empire, an Australian band. They're like a collective. They got many members who drift in and out of the band, and I describe, as I said before, their genre as sort of fiesta funk. So slightly sounds a little bit Spanish, I guess, but then they've got more funky jazzy elements to it as well. I'm a big fan, so looking forward to that and hearing some live music again, because it's been a long time. I'm loving Toto recently. Oh my goodness, Toto, great. And obviously Africa is an absolute tune. Roxanne and Hold the Line, yeah. I need to explore Toto's back catalogue, actually. And of course, it all comes full circle. We just had Totodile in chat, and now Toto. Yeah, the Cat Empire, yeah, really, really sweet band name. It was introduced. I was introduced to them by my girlfriend, actually. I don't know how she discovered them, but yeah, should be a lot of fun. What's the best band or artist that people have seen live in the chat here? Wasn't that fun having Lee on call? I hope it was interesting hearing some tales from the from events that we've cast together. It's always so much fun hanging out with Lee. We have such a good laugh. So hopefully we'll be able to get Lee on for another stream. Maybe Quit Panic as well. Yeah, we'll have to see. Easy Lover by Phil Collins. Phil Bailey. Yeah. Good song. Love that shout out there. Yeah. Oh, you're making me want to go back and listen to those artists there. Sergio, good. We've got some Phil Collins fans in the chat. If you are new in chat, welcome. If you've just joined from Lee's stream, for example, first of all, I apologise for the flickering of the screens there. It seems to be a bit worse this evening than it has been of recent days, but I think it's just my camera getting used to my hands being in front of it and then not being in front of it and focusing and things like that. But yeah, I'm a fellow VG caster and a content creator, and I'm streaming, have been streaming Safari Week every evening of Safari Week from 7 onwards. I was a little bit later tonight, I apologise about that. But it's been a crazy day because, also, by way of a bit of introduction, I run this podcast, Chazingdra Chats. My online name is Chazingdra. And we get to know the life stories of people in the Pokemon community, as well as the 6 Pokemon on their dream team. And Lee, in fact, who we had on call just then, was my very first guest on the show. Today we released the episode with Matt Absol Blogs Pokemon, who is the host of Safari Week, very prominent streamer, shiny hunter, content creator, someone who's been making videos for 14 years, has most of his life documented in videos. So watching his channel is like watching someone grow up. It's a really interesting tale that Matt has to tell. So if you're interested in that, then do go and check out the interview I did with Matt on my channel, as well as the vlogs that I do. I vlog events that I cast. And I'm working on the edit for Bologna. Lee and I were both there in Bologna commentating. Hopefully we'll have a bit more time to work on that tomorrow. It's been manic recently, but yeah, hopefully we'll be able to share that with you all soon. So, what era of jazz do you enjoy the most? You've been listening to Where's Montgomery? Wow, you've got quite the musical catalogue there, haven't you, Sergio? Jazz era I enjoy listening to. There are so many. So, you can't go wrong with someone like Miles Davis, Thelonious Monk, something like that. Also, though, more modern jazz, there's this band, Velocity Trio, here in the UK. I've seen play live a couple of times, actually, and they're more upbeat, maybe slightly more experimental, but jazzy and a little bit funky too. Highly recommend those. Great music to have on in the background. It's vocal-less as well. It's saxophone, percussion, and keys. My brother is a drummer, and the drummer of Velocity Trio is his favourite drummer ever. So that is saying something. So yeah, I just like the genre really. I'm not sure it's a particular era that I go for over any others here. Rachel, let's hope that you're manifesting a lack of shiny Rattata and Raticate, because after all this time, if it were Rattata or Raticate, to be honest, I'd still be very pleased to see something shine. But it would be disappointing. It'd be mighty disappointing if it were that. It would be perhaps the most anticlimactic Rattata or Raticate that anyone's ever experienced. But it would be cool to have a shiny in a Safari Ball. That's the thing, right? No matter what the Pokemon is, you do get it in the Safari Ball if it doesn't flee. So that at least gives it that little bit of extra pizzazz, let's say. And I know you keep seeing them, and fingers crossed it's not them. Fully agree. Music recommendations, what you live for. Well then, Sergio, you're in the right place. Clearly, yeah. I mean, I'd love to hear some of your recommendations as well. You've already thrown in a few there, but anything of that jazzy or sort of 80s era, would love to hear them, because I need to refresh my music catalogue, actually. Peter Gabriel's like my all-time favourite, gotta say. I like the fact, so as opposed to Phil Collins, who was slightly more commercial, Peter Gabriel really kind of just did what he wanted. It felt like had more of a license to be a bit more experimental, and that led to, I'd say, overall a more interesting output of music. I saw Peter Gabriel live last year with my girlfriend at the O2 in London, so a massive arena, and it was amazing. I think we brought the average age of the crowd down dramatically, but yeah, it was amazing live, and really put a lot of thought into the he commissioned artists to do sort of works that would show behind him on stage during certain songs, and the whole thing was just it was a sensory experience. You keep thinking the first shine is going to be the Apom. Okay, interesting, Rachel. Let's see if that's borne out. Apom is a very difficult capture, surprisingly difficult. So part of me hopes that it's not the Apom, but I would love at the same time an Apom in a Safari Ball, shiny Apom in Gen 3. That'd be really cool. For 80s jazz, can't go wrong with Paul Jackson Jr., George Benson. Sergio, I'm so glad you mentioned George Benson. So I actually wrote a one-man show about the medical condition I have. I have cystic fibrosis. It was all about the new medicines that have come out for cystic fibrosis that are really game-changing. And 2020 by George Benson was like the theme of that show that I wrote. It's one of my all-time favourite songs, 2020, and George Benson's hits. So actually, Sergio, I was going to be seeing George Benson live this Friday at the Royal Albert Hall in London, but he had to cancel the tour because he's not well. And I'm very pleased to looking after his health, but obviously I'm really disappointed not to be seeing George Benson live. But you mentioned the right name there, Sergio, with George Benson, and the hits like Kisses in the Moonlight, Gimme the Night, Never Give Up on a Good Thing. Love it. Sergio, I'm so glad that we've been able to nerd out over George Benson together. I know. Well, you can envy me, but also the concert has been cancelled, so yeah, real shame, but let's hope that George Benson is okay. So, Peter Gabriel did tour recently-ish, and it was a great gig, Rachel. Highly recommend if Peter Gabriel ever tours again. Air Supply with Jaco Pastorius on bass guitar is highly recommended. Noted. Thank you very much for that, Sergio. Doing my sort of optimism check as to whether that Rhyhorn was shiny, but no, of course it's not. You still keep saying it's Magneton, Shadow. Okay, thank you, Ronnie. Let's see. I could see that as well. I could see it being Magneton. We are talking jazz, Luke, and your son is named after Miles Davis. Very nice. Miles is a lovely name. It's fantastic to hear. Used to play Gimme the Night when you fed and bathed him as a baby. Wow! Absolutely incredible stories coming out. It's so fascinating to hang with you all. Thank you so much for providing me with these factoids. That's such a lovely fact. Yeah, George Benson. What an artist. Highly recommend anyone who's not familiar with George Benson's music to go and check out that artist. Alright then, chat. This hunt. 10,500 encounters, eh? We are still nearer to the lower side of odds than, double odds. Still nearer to single odds than double odds. It could still happen. It could happen at any time. Oh yeah, you've got to sit down and listen to that album for sure. Give me the night. Absolutely, Sergio. Now, put in your bets in the chat as to what you think is going to shine first. We've had a shout out for Magneton and the Apom. What else do you think might be shining first? I've been calling it the past 2 nights. I've said 2 nights ago I said it'd be Rhyhorn in Leaf Green. Yesterday I said it'd be Chansey in Leaf Green. But what's it going to be tonight? You decide to join in on the Pokemon tonight. Finish your current playthrough of Alpha Sapphire. Nice, Rachel. Very nice to play through Alpha Sapphire again. What's your team looking like on Alpha Sapphire? Is there a Blaziken on it? Your favourite? One of your favourite all-time Pokemon, actually, I believe. Would love to know that. Shiny Rattata, 10,720. No one wants to hear it, but maybe you've called it, Sergio. Maybe you've called it. We'll have to see. Yeah, Rachel, thank you for filling in the... introduce yourself in the Discord server. By the way, anyone who's here, if you want to continue to hang out when I'm off stream, you can join my Discord server. It is linked in the video description below. Would be a pleasure to have you there. But Rachel, you said in the introduce yourself that you got into Pokemon streams, competitive and so on, in lockdown. Discovered the Players' Cups. And I also kind of discovered that VG was quite the thing it is through the Players' Cups in lockdown. So yeah, I think we have quite a similar history there. We have a similar path with it. As soon as I knew that casting was a thing, I wanted to give it a go because as an actor, I just thought I could bring some energy and just, hopefully bring what I'd learned at drama school to the casting. So yeah, it's interesting to think about these timelines and how they coincide. There is, of course, a Blaziken, but you've tried to use other Pokemon you don't normally use. So you have Pelipper, Flygon, Aggron, Wailord, and Guardy. Cool. Very nice. Wailord there as well. Hi Ashcart, welcome. Yeah, still nothing. Nearly 10,600 encounters here. Still no shiny. might happen tonight. We did have Lee Provost on earlier, Osiris on YouTube, and a fellow VG caster. Great to hang with him. Also, no shinies for Lee there, but was great to be able to hang with Lee a bit on call. Shame that you missed it, but we may well be hanging out on a stream later in the week, so watch this space for that. But Rachel, you say those Pokemon you don't normally use. 3 of those were on my very first playthrough of Generation 3. I had Pelipper, Flygon, and Aggron on my team. And that was back when I didn't know what any of the Generation 3 Pokemon were, really. So I didn't know that Lairon was going to evolve into Aggron, and it's such a powerful Pokemon. I didn't know that Trapinch was going to ultimately become a part Dragon type. And I was buzzing, obviously, when it did. I just wondered what it evolved into, kept with it, and yeah, it became a Flygon. So maybe our tastes in Pokemon are a little bit different, since you haven't used those ones before. Houndour would be such a cool find in Emerald as well here. Hopefully there won't be any more family visits. Oh, have you had family over, Ashcarp? That's very exciting. I hope you had a nice time with family. And I hope that everyone's been managing to keep cool in this weather. Pinsir there. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if we found a shiny Pinsir? So, Rachel, you've been using a Cacturn at points in this playthrough too. Not a normal pick for you. Yeah, I also. Cacturn, not a normal pick for me. How about you all? What... let's keep it to Generation 3, since that's what we're talking about here. In Generation 3, what Pokemon have you never used on a playthrough that you'd like to try? For me, I think one of them... So we've had Cacturn mentioned. One of them for me would also be Claydol. I've never used Claydol in a playthrough of Generation 3, and I'd really like to. Ground Psychic with Levitate is a strong option. It's a strong option. Yeah, would love to give Claydol a go, and also I just think it's a really cool concept for a Pokemon, a ancient toy from the desert that has come to life. Ground and Psychic, really interesting typing as well. Unique typing, I believe no other Pokemon has the same type combination as Baltoy and Claydol even to this day, but feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. Never used Huntail or Gorobis, you so badly want to. So, Rachel, when I did my Sapphire Dream Team quest in autumn 2022, and as I said, I say autumn 2022, it lasted about a year. I still need to do the Elite Four with my shiny Sapphire team, so maybe I'll stream that at some point. But I had a shiny Gorobis on there. I found shiny Clamperl and got Gorobis, which was great. And like you, I went for that because I've never used Huntail or Gorobis either. And yeah, I recommend it. It's they're really cool Pokemon. So I'm now obviously paranoid about missing a shiny, so I'll keep an eye out. The fossils. Yes. I have used Cradilly. I did an Emeralds playthrough with only, dragon types, but obviously the way the earlier generations defined dragons, because there were just so few of them, was a little bit fluid. So in that dragon playthrough, I had a Dragonite, I had Flygon, Altaria. I didn't have Kingdra, actually, because I'd just done a water playthrough of Soul Silver where I'd used Kingdra, so I kept that one out. But I had Cradilly and Milotic as well, because fossils, they've been tied with dragons in the past with Aerodactyl and Gem 1, and then Milotic because, Sea Serpent, definitely a reptilian theme going on there. And you've also never used Claydol, Luke. Yeah, let's do that. Why don't we do that? Why don't we do a playthrough of Generation 3 where we've got Claydol on the team? Also, because I remember the gym leaders, Tate and Liza, especially in Emerald, and you have the Claydol next to the Xatu that can just spam Earthquake. Yeah, and then of course Steven in Ruby and Sapphire uses Claydol. Oh, shiny Claydol as well. Shiny Baltoy. As I've said before, I love turquoise shinies, and Baltoy has that turquoise stripe. Then Claydol, I believe its eyes go yellow. I think that's the difference there. Very cool shiny. Yeah, all sorts of quests, Ashcarp, that Pokemon offers to us. How about you, Sergio? Have you done many quests like that? Set yourself some quests. I've got all sorts of quests that I'd like to do, like to stream and make videos about for my channel. So, yeah, speaking to Matt for the podcast in the episode today really drives home, I think, just how many things the Pokemon games have to offer in that regard, beyond just your standard playthrough. You barely scratch the surface on a standard playthrough. You never used a Linoon either, Rachel. You always have a Zigzagoon early game, but always lose it before it gets to Linoon. Yeah, I love sticking with those Pokemon from earlier on in the game. And seeing how we can make them work, especially the bugs that you tend to find very early on, the very early routes in the game. I love to try and make those work. I've got a Vivian on a playthrough team of Pokemon Y at the moment, actually, to that end. Didn't use Tarantula or Spidops in my Scarlet and Violet playthrough, having said that. You did a normal Monotype run in Silver. That's cool. So, which Pokemon did you have, Ashcart? Which Pokemon did you have? You always end up using the early bug. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Rachel. All the butterfly Pokemon. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, what was on your normal mono run in Silver? I love the normal type. I think it's so underrated. For my water monotype run in Soul Silver, Kingdra, because of course it's my favourite. Octillery, which I feel like has this lore around it because barely any trainers in Generation 2 or the remakes use Octillery. So yeah, it was cool to employ Octillery on that. Lantern, Quagsire, Politoed, and Slowking. And again, Slowking you don't see too much being used by trainers in Generation 2 either, or Politoed. And these were all Pokemon that sort of that I didn't really explore when I was playing through when I was younger because I wasn't able to trade too much when I was younger, so I could never have a Kingdra, or a Politoed, or a Slowking. You need 2 King's Rocks for that as well. So yeah, it was nice to explore Pokemon that are unused. And speaking of that, it'd be really cool, I think, to do a playthrough of Gold and Silver, or Heart Gold, Soul Silver, where you're using the Pokemon that are new Pokemon for that generation, but you can't have them until very late on. So like Larvitar and Houndour and Murkrow, because you tend to be only able to find them in the Kanto bit of the Johto games. That's why it's so cool that they appear in the Safari Zone, but would love to do a playthrough where we experience what they're like earlier on in the game, because not many people have had that experience. I'd want to shiny hunt them, of course, and then trade them over to a new save file, and then play through the game from there. Would love that. So, in your playthrough of X earlier this year, found a full odds shiny Scatterbug. Very cool, Rachel. Very nice. I'd love a shiny Scatterbug in any of the games. Yeah, Vivian, a great shiny as well. In Pokemon Y in like November, found a completely random full odds shiny Staravia. Used a quick ball, broke out, and then it used Whirlwind and ended the battle. Brutal. So yeah, that was a fail, unfortunately. You think it was Ferret, Noctowl, Miltank, Girafarig, Pidgeot, and maybe Gramble. Very cool that you had those 2 flying types on there as well with Noctowl and Pidgeot. Gramble, that's a Pokemon I've never really explored. And of course, used to be entirely normal type. Now it's fairy type. If you had time, you could get them in eggs so they don't get the traded EXP bonus. Oh, wow. Yeah, that would be hardcore. That's a really interesting way of thinking about it. Yeah, definitely could do that. Ashcarp. Cool. Anyone else done a monotype run in chat? They are so much fun. Shiny monotype run, that'd be cool as well. I'm thinking about what to stream once Safari Week is over, and yeah, so all ideas for quests welcome. How are we doing? Welcome in if you've just joined, by the way. If you're here having listened to Matt Absol Blogs Pokemon's episode of Chazingdra Chats, then thank you so much. I really hope that you enjoyed it. Had a fantastic time talking to Matt. And yeah, we're here shiny hunting for Safari Week. As you can see, still no shinies and 10,662 encounters. We're overdue, and it could happen at any time, including not tonight. So we'll just have to see how it goes. You did a water run in Pokemon Blue. Cool. You know my next question, Luke. Who was on your team? You're tired, Ronnie? Yeah, you're going to head to bed early? Yeah, well, hey, sometimes I think your body knows that it needs the sleep. It could go to bed earlier, and so that's what it wants to do. So, Ronnie, either way, very much appreciate you being here, as always. And, of course, fun time with you in the Chazindra's Chocolate Factory Discord server as well. So thank you so much for being there. Thank you so much for being here. Always appreciate the support of the streams at Ronnie. And a shame that you didn't get the shiny tonight, as opposed to a couple of days ago. But maybe that will pave the way for me getting a shiny this evening. Who knows? Who knows? But thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed Lee being on call as well. And I hope you sleep very well. Welcome in, everyone. If you've joined from Lee's stream, thank you so much for making the hop over. Hopefully Lee and I will be able to stream at some point again later on in Safari Week. We'll have to see how our availabilities match up. Cool. Hopefully see you tomorrow then, Ronnie. Sleep well. You know Blastoise was on there. Of course, Luke. Of course it was. Couldn't not be. Could not be, could it? For your next playthrough. I'll just get through these encounters before I read your message, Ashcarp, there properly. For your next playthrough, do you know what game you want to replay? It could help to narrow down the idea for themes challenges. Yes. To be honest, I have already had some thoughts about this. And it might be... I really, at some point, really want to do a Dream Team quest in Pokemon Silver. Not Soul Silver, Generation 2 Pokemon Silver. Because that was my all-time favourite Pokemon game. Well, it remains my all-time favourite Pokemon game. Played it so much when I was younger. I recently had the battery replaced on it as well, so I can save. And, yeah, just... Obviously, we'll go for a shiny Kingdra, but then so many other cool targets in there as well. I'm an Espeon fan over an Umbreon fan. Obviously, both are very, very cool. But we'll probably go for Espeon there as well. And... yeah, I just think that'd be really special. Could even have a Kanto Legavit as well, where I go for different targets when I'm in the Kanto region. But yeah, I think it's got to be something to do with Silver, probably. The question is whether I go ahead and do another Shiny Hunt-esque challenge, or whether I sort of complete some other quests I've had going for a bit. Like, it could be, first of all, I could stream going through the Sapphire Elite Four with my shiny team that I did the Dream Team quest with. I have the team on this very cartridge of Soul Silver, actually. It's not shiny, but just a team I did a standard playthrough with. I still have to do all the gym leaders rematches there, as well as take on Red, and it's with a team that isn't necessarily the most powerful. So, we'll have to see. Yeah, it's debatable whether they could make it through. So it's like Meganium, Ledian, Corsola, Xatu, Piloswine, which carries the team, and what's the other one? Meganium, Ledian, Corsola, Xatu, Piloswine, and Hitmontop. So yeah, I could stream doing that. All sorts of options, but yeah, you can let me know which content you would like to see, and I'll have to see what would be possible. Have I done a Nuzlocke with any of the Switch games? I haven't done a Nuzlocke with any of the Switch games, and actually, I can't really, unless it was just filming my handheld Switch, which I could do, I guess. I can't really stream a Switch at the moment because I just have my MacBook, which I'm not sure will be able to handle capture card streaming. But, as I've been saying, it's my birthday coming up relatively soon, and I would like to research computers, probably PCs rather than Macs, that are good for streaming, so that I can stream all sorts of challenges from the Switch, and I do have all sorts of ideas for that as well. So like I have a entirely untouched DLC for Teal Mask and Indigo Disc for Pokemon Violet, so all sorts of things I could do there. It could be a shiny run, it could be a Nuzlocke, it could be soloing it with a Pokemon, it could be a monotype run, it could be a monotype shiny run, it could be a monotype shiny Nuzlocke run, all of these things. So, yeah, excited to get into Switch streaming. And then, of course, I can also do competitive content as well. Competitive streaming. Alright, time to reset on Fire Red. Let's get back to this Kangaskhan and this Tauros area. Again, even though we haven't found a shiny yet, if the shiny were to be a Kangaskhan or Tauros, and we caught it, that would kind of make it all worthwhile, wouldn't it? Just how rare that would be. So exciting. You're about there with your Scarlet playthrough as well, just before Area 0 in Scarlet. Nice. Nice, Casey. And you're going to be streaming again later, Casey? If so, I hope the luck continues. And also, I assume that Wooper that you found was a capture rather than a flea. I very much hope so. Hello, Tayaki. Good evening. Welcome. Very good to have you here. Also, very good to welcome you into the Chazindra's Chocolate Factory Discord server. Thank you so much for being there. Always a pleasure to hang out with you all outside of streaming. And how are you doing today? I hope that the temperature has remained tolerable in Mexico. Rachel, you're dipping out early. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. The heat is quite something, isn't it? Thank you for the luck. Very much appreciate it. And thank you for sending the shiny luck. Not the Raticate. Appreciate that too, Rachel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Always a pleasure to have you here. And again, appreciate the fact that you filled out that introduce yourself section in the Discord server. So sleep very well. Hope you managed to stay cool tonight. All right, White Flute again. Volbeat with Illuminate again. Okay then. It's happening tonight, chat. Surely it's happening tonight. You're aiming to do a playthrough of Soul Silver with just the 3 stars of shiny. Nice. Got the Totodile and the Chikorita last year, but the Cyndaquil still eludes you. I feel like, or evades you, I feel like Cyndaquil is probably the Johto first partner Pokemon that I've seen shiny the least in terms of what people have uploaded. It'd be interesting to know. Also, whenever you're going through the 3 Pokemon when you're resetting on Hot Gold, Soul Silver to see if they're shiny, there's always that moment, isn't there, where you think, what if all 3 of them were shiny? Can you imagine? I mean, that would be internet-breaking stuff right there. All 3 shiny. And also, you'd never want to turn off that game, would you? You just have it on charge constantly. Like Lee was saying earlier about a shiny in the Safari Zone that you just don't want to flee. Just so you'll never have to lose those 3 shinies on screen would be absolutely incredible. You'll stream again on Sunday for some more Safari Week hunting. Well, hey, you're already off to a really good start with that shiny Wooper, so yeah, you've got that luxury. Take a little bit of time out. Okay, 10,750. We are nearly at 11,000. There have obviously been hunts that have gone on far longer than this, so I can't really complain. But, yeah, what a phase. What a phase. Certainly my longest shiny hunting phase that I've ever had. You love that you can see the HGSS price. I know, it's amazing. You'd hate to get multiple. Yeah, exactly. Really difficult decisions to make. In terms of the anecdote, though, it would be incredible to find multiple Johto first partners at once. Absolutely incredible. Has anyone else done that hunt in chat? Has anyone else done the Johto Heart Gold Soul Silver first partner Pokemon shiny hunt? It's a lot of fun. The encounters fly by because, of course, you're seeing 3 Pokemon at once. really see if they're shiny. Especially good if you're not going for any particular one of them as the shiny, as happened with the Totodile that I got last week. Alright. See what we've got here. Get another encounter going, then I'm going to hydrate. So, Ashcop, did you see people getting 2 shinies when horde hunting in XY or Oras? Those would be painful. Yeah. Although, given the, you know, those encounters can be really tricksy, can't they? Because some of those Pokemon can just get knocked out by others. At least then you're improving your chances of being able to catch one of those shinies. Yeah, but yeah, I know what you mean. Or how about, what are people's most painful shiny fails? Brutal question. But yeah, I think I haven't had shiny fails that are too brutal. The Venonat in Safari Week last year, having failed the Nidorino, was kind of painful. Brandon, very good to see you in chat. Thank you so much for joining, and thank you for the luck. Still nothing, Brandon. Still nothing. And we're at 10,774 encounters, so we are over odds. We had Lee Provost on call earlier, Osiris on YouTube, fellow VG caster, and of course a content creator, but no shinies. So not bringing that luck, but maybe it can still happen. We're still streaming tonight, so who knows? Who knows what will happen tonight? But appreciate you stopping by, Brandon. Thank you so much for being here. Have you hopped over from Lee's stream? Have you listened? Are you a fan of the podcast? Are you from X? How are you? How do I know you, Brandon? Very good to see you here. 4 devices, exactly. Yeah. We couldn't really be doing much more at this point, so... Well, hello there, James Ellis, once more. Come on, those shinies. James Ellis, good friend of mine, back from university. Always a pleasure to have you in chat, my friend. And, yeah. We still don't have that shiny, James. Let's see if we'll get it tonight. We were on call with a fellow Pokemon commentator, Lee Provost, earlier. Still didn't bring that luck. Also, of course, a very celebrated content creator, Osiris, doing tips and trick guide videos. You're over from Lee's, and you've listened to the podcast as well. Oh, well, that's very sweet. Thank you so much, Brandon. I hope that you enjoyed the podcast. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for that, Luke. Yeah, I'm going to take a leaf out of Luke's book there. He's sort of doing my job for me. Do like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really does go a long way. Especially because in my content creating journey, I am light years behind Lee. So, this early stage, all of those likes and subscribes and follows really do go a very long way. And in this day and age, so many further opportunities come from that as well, so I really appreciate it. If you enjoy the podcast, if you enjoy the streams, if you enjoy the vlogs that I make, would really appreciate it if you could consider giving a like and a subscribe, and dropping a comment as well. Any thoughts that you have on the streams or the podcast, etc. So, hello, Wormseye. Thank you very much. Shiny's notwithstanding, exactly. Yes, still no shiny, my friend. But appreciate you being here. Have you hopped over from Lee's stream, perhaps? Very much appreciate it if you have. Really good to see you here. But otherwise, yes, I'm doing very well, thank you. I'm managing to keep relatively cool, even though it's pretty warm here in the UK today. Your very first shiny, Union Cave, with that kid with the Kadabra, found a shiny Zubat and could not outspeed the Kadabra. Diamond Cave under the cycling lane. I think that's the name of the cave. So, could not outspeed the Kadabra. So how was that a fail then? Did it knock you out? What happened? What happened with that encounter? I'm sorry to hear that it was a fail though, Ashcart. That's really rubbish. That's the way it goes sometimes. Okay. Top region I'd like to live in, James. Very good question. I'm going to have to go with my favourite region there, Johto. Would have to be Johto. Would love it. Because then, of course, you have that connection to Kanto too. So you kind of get two for the price of one. I remember us talking about this before, actually, James, how... which city we'd like to live in Johto. And for me... Now, before I said to you Goldenrod City, that's wrong, and I take that answer back. My new answer for that is Olivine City. Because you're by the sea, and I love the sea. I think it'd be very calming to be by the sea. You're near Ekritik with all of that lore, and all of the... you've got the Tin Tower... all the brass tower and the legendary beasts there as well. But then you're near enough to the big city that Goldenrod is for any of those supplies that you might need. So, yeah, I think Olivine City in Johto is where I'd most want to live. You can tell I've given that some thought. How about you, James? Where would you like to live in the Pokemon world? 108 degrees Fahrenheit in Arizona. Now, I deal in Celsius, Brandon. So I'm not entirely sure how warm that is, but it sounds warm. Don't get me wrong. So, yeah, I hope you've got aircon or something. We don't tend to have that in buildings here in the UK because we rarely need it, but increasingly we do. Double trainers when exploring that. Yeah, okay, I see. Oh no! I'm so sorry to hear that in that double battle, the partner trainer knocked out the shiny Zubat. Oh, that sucks. That sucks. Hopefully you'll be able to reclaim that at some point. I had someone in the Discord community earlier saying that they found a shiny Hoot Hoot before you actually have access to Pokeballs in Generation 2. Can you imagine? That's gutting. Because do you remember you have to go on that fetch quest? Go and see Professor Oak, come back to Professor Elm, all before you have Pokeballs. So any shiny you find, you just simply cannot catch. It would be so gutting. And that's exactly what happened to, I think it was Toasted Pixel in the Discord community. And if you want to hang out outside of the stream, then please do hop into the Discord community. It would be a pleasure to see you there. The link is in the description below, along with all my socials, if you want to follow along with all of my news and updates, whether I'm casting or content creating or anything else, what have you, would be a pleasure to welcome you there. Also, you can check out the podcast that I do. I just released a new episode today with a person who hosts Safari Week, Matt Absol, blogs Pokemon. Really interesting listen, I hope. Someone who has essentially grown up on YouTube, made videos for 14 years. So if you go back right to the start of their videos, you can literally watch them go from the age of 14 to now 28. So do go and have a listen to that. I also, of course, have the episode with Lee that I did right at the beginning of the series lifespan, and it's still going strong. So if you're over here from Lee's stream, then I recommend you go and check that out as well. And so many other episodes like Justin Tang, very well known, 2-time regional champion in the competitive Pokemon scene. Spraggles, Pokemon Unite caster, loads of interesting guests over there. So I hope there's something for everyone as well as the events that I make vlogs of. And I'm working on a new vlog right now from Bologna, featuring me and Lee, as well as Marcus Statter and Jamie Boyd. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. But so much content going on, so many plans for streaming after Safari Week as well. So if you like all things Pokemon video game, you're in the right place. Anyway, so 42. Oh my goodness, that is so warm. I can't fathom how warm that must be. Brandon, that is horrendous. Oh my goodness. So you've hopped over from Lee's stream, Worm's Eye. Well, it's a pleasure to have you here. Known since about 2016, is a great guy. Always happy to support. Lee is a great guy. I'm very pleased that. Well, I mean, you've known him for so long. Yeah, he's a dear friend of mine, and always a pleasure to hang out with him, let alone stream. So yeah. Always fun to hang out with Lee on call as well. So hopefully we'll be able to do that again at some point this week. Continue to share that love. Very much appreciate your support here. Worm's Eye and Brandon. And anyone else who's hopped over from Lee's stream. Wonderful to see you. So, you think you would live in Ekritik in Johto, James? I see. Overall it'd be Hoenn and Four Tree City. I see, yeah, nice. Up in the treetops. That'd be really picturesque location to live. And the fresh air, that would work wonders for many people. Pretty far removed from shops and the like. But yeah, Fortry would be a really interesting place. That Hoot Hoot story is precisely why you avoid grass as much as possible in that part of the game. Exactly, Ashcarp. I'm sure that Toasted Pixel was as well, but sometimes you get very unlucky or lucky, depending on your point of view, and you still find a shiny before you've got any Pokeballs. That's the low for Arizona Summer 2. Next month it will get to about 49. That is ridiculous. I cannot. Ugh. I remember a couple of years ago in the UK we had a very random intense heat wave where in July it reached 40 degrees. First time I've ever known that to happen. And actually I was working in this room. This sofa that I'm sat on is kind of a suede, and the sweat was real, let me tell you. Yeah, that was intense. I had a deadline I was working towards as well, so definitely it wasn't conducive. But hey, we got it done. Yeah, 49. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was a lot. I was applying for a festival of plays where I put on my one-man show, so it was all worth it in the end. But yeah, it was an intense application process for that reason. Because I am an actor by trade, and a writer, so yeah, kind of what's helped me lean into the casting as well, with experience in front of the camera, and yeah, making it accessible and enjoyable for viewers at home. Would love to know for other people which region in the Pokemon world they would most want to live in. For me, and I can give the city as well, it's Olivine City in Johto. But what would other people say? We've got James saying Fortree City in Hoenn, which would be really cool. Up in the treetops. But where would other people want to live? Yeah, thanks, Brandon. Yeah, no, it was very cool. Yeah, one-man show is an interesting thing to do. Quite a personal subject matter as well. It's about my medical condition, cystic fibrosis, and it's about a new medicine that came out for that, which is really game-changing. So, yeah, it was quite exhausting performing that story over and over again, but I'm very glad I did it. I took it to the Edinburgh Fringe last summer, Edinburgh Fringe being a big festival of performance in Edinburgh, Scotland, of course. World-renowned, all sorts of people taking part there. And it was a great experience. It was an exhausting experience, quite an expensive experience as well. Very pleased to have done it, but also pleased to be having a more chill summer this year, hanging out with you all, shiny hunting. Kanto, Cerulean City in Kanto for you. That's a really good answer, Brandon. Yeah, very picturesque. You got the Cerulean Cape as well. You're near the Cerulean Cave where Mewtwo hangs out, which really interesting, powerful Pokemon going on there. Yeah, I like it. It's sort of seaside vibes without being fully seaside. Nugget Bridge as well. I'm sure all sorts of romantic walks there. We've broken 10,900 encounters, everyone. Full steam ahead to 11,000. Are we going to get the shiny before 11,000 encounters? Let's find out. Verdanturf Town in Hoenn. That's a really good answer. Really good answer, Ashcarp. Yeah. And the air there is supposed to be so fresh that it's good for your health. I remember from Wally's story in the games. Love that. Verdanturf in Hoenn. Sue and James hang out in Hoenn together. Medali and Paldea for all the nice food options. Yeah, really good shout. Really good shout. Generation 9 Medali. And also, who doesn't want to be friends with Larry, the normal gym leader there? Such a cool gym leader. James, since you're someone who doesn't know the later generations so well, Larry is just sort of your everyman. He's a normal type gym leader, and they've really lent into the everyman characterization for him. He's just a guy who works in an office, and he's very nonplussed about everything. Really, he's battles you when he has time in between his office shifts, and yeah, he's a really cool character. Medali, yeah, really good food options there. That interesting sort of amphitheatre thing that they have in Medali too. That always really fascinated me when I played through the game. You love the water in Cerulean, especially being in Arizona, so it would be nice to be able to cool down. Yeah, absolutely. Little lagoon to chill out in and cool down. Hope that the Arizona heat wouldn't heat up the water there too much. Yeah, Larry, such a good gym leader, and you love the normal type. I also love the normal type. I think it's such an underrated type. Just because it's normal, people sort of gloss over it, I think. But there are so many cool normal type Pokemon. Why don't we show our love for normal type Pokemon, chat? What are your favourite normal type Pokemon? Chuck them in. Let's discuss the normal type. We've got to raise the bar, raise the love for normal types. He's giving... If Tim Burton did a satirical Pokemon gym leader, yeah, he really is. That's a really good point, James. Yeah, the sort of... The... slightly sunken eyes, worn face. Yeah, I love that. I love that description. Normal types for me. There are so many good ones. Yeah, I'm not surprised Larry made you laugh. Brandon. He arrived in Pokemon Masters, and he's got a voice in Pokemon Masters. I'm glad that they nailed the voice actor for Larry there. I really like Dunsparce. Gotta say, obviously we've got Dunsparce now as well, but... yeah, Dunsparce, I love how rare it is. And with Serene Grace as an ability, can really open up some new pathways in battles that can be very frustrating for your opponent. Other normal types I really like. Slackoth, Vigoroth, Slacking, I love that line. Male Pyroar, yeah, that's a really good shout as well. Fire Normal dual type, really interesting combination there. Probably your love for fire type bias coming through, but still, no, really, really great Pokemon. We are flying through these encounters, chat. Thank you so much, as always, for helping them go so quickly. Always a pleasure to hang out with you. Teddy Ursa there, yeah, Ursaring. Big fan of that as well. I feel like there are more in Gen 2 that I'm missing that I really like. Chansey, of course, really like. Blissey too. With its insanely big health bar. What other normal type? Well, Tandemaus and Mousehold. Gotta be. Yeah, come through Tandemaus. I love them so much. So cute. Just two mice in love, holding hands. So wholesome. And Mousehold, when they evolve, I remember seeing Mousehold, the evolution, for the first time. They just get two smaller mice. Just when you thought they couldn't really be smaller and cuter, they get two smaller, cuter mice alongside. Love Tandemaus and Mousehold. You really want to use Cyclozar. Yeah. Very cool Pokemon. Dragon Normal. I love Drampa as well, on that note. Hisuian Zorua. Yeah, very nice. You have a big soft spot for Route 1 normal types. Yeah. Love to see some more love for those. Going all the way through to the Elite Four with a Raticate or with a Linoon or Furret. I love Furret. That's another normal type I love. Oh, so many good ones. Porygon as well. Oh yeah, that's got to be one of my favourites actually. The Porygon line I think is so cool. We've got Porygon up there. That's my Porygon plush. Call him Rek. Just because that sounded like a kind of glitchy name, kind of suitable for Porygon. You've got to head off. Thank you so much for stopping by, Brandon. Hugely appreciate it. And I hope that you managed to stay cool, my friend. And yeah, would love to see you in a future stream. Thank you for hopping across from Lee's. Very much appreciate it. And yeah, see you soon. So, Dubwool. Oh yeah, Dubwool with Fluffy too. So good. And then Cotton Guard and Body Press. I really enjoyed using Double as well. You've got a nice view of the Snom in the background here, haven't you? Yeah. Just chilling out on his merry way to eat some snow. Very nice. Greedent, one of your favourite normal types. Used to be your main in Unite for a long time. Yeah, Greedent's really good with... that cheek pouch, and then belly drum, citrus berry, especially with Dynamax, really big. James, you're ducking out as well. Thank you so much for the shiny luck, my friend. Always a pleasure to see you here. And hope you have a very good rest of your evening. Stay cool. And thank you for being here. Yeah, it's cool that Greedent has some play in Unite. I really want to give Unite a go myself when I have a spare moment, which is rare these days with the content creation, but yeah, would absolutely love that. We've got quite a few Venonats happening, haven't we? Is that going to be what shines? Quite possibly, and I would love that. Try and reclaim it from last year. That'd be epic. So, nice to show some love for the normal types. Why don't we veer away from Pokemon? Why don't we talk about... what's everyone's favourite fruit? A huge fruit fan. I think it might be pear for me. I've thought about this before. And pear, I feel like you don't tend to have too often. It's always a treat when you have it. And, yeah, juicy pear really hits the spot. But then, I love pomegranate as well. I love blueberries and apples. Apples are great. Just a simple apple or a satsuma hits the spot too. Yeah, what's your favourite fruit? Papaya, that's a really nice one actually as well. Think about all these fruits that could cool someone down while they are shiny hunting. Funny that. Miltank would be such a cool find. Miltank's shiny is lovely. That little minty green, pale blue. Strawberries, bananas, melons. Nice, Ashcarp. Yeah, some solid options there. Strawberries, especially this time of year, really do go down well. And melons, as long as it's a good ripeness, by which I mean not overly ripe. Yeah, and banana, yeah, nice sort of different fruit, that one. Potassium boost, a little bit of a carbohydrate boost as well. We're approaching 11,000, chat. We're approaching 11,000, everyone. Which, considering that we started today on, 8,904 encounters, I think it was. So, we've done very well, actually. Or did we start on 9,000? No, I think it was 8,904. So that means we've done... more than 2,000 encounters. Nice. That's a good rate. That's a fairly similar rate, actually, to what we've had before, and we started slightly later as well, due to it just being an absolutely manic day. So, bananas and pears would be your top picks. Taki, yeah. Strawberries, grapes, bananas. We've got a lot of love for bananas right now in the chat. Yeah. And I can see why. They're a fruit that just does something a little bit different. So, yeah. Appreciate that. Still no shinies. We've broken 11,000. Hey, that's a nice palindrome number, isn't it? 11011. 11011. What do you think is going to shine first, everyone? Claimed it would be Rhyhorn a couple of days, or 3 days ago. Then, 2 days ago, and then I claimed it would be Chansey yesterday, both in leaf green. Obviously, neither of those shined. And for tonight, what do we think it's going to be? I need to reset my back properly. What do I think it's going to be tonight? You know what? We're getting so many Venonats. I'm going to go for it and say that we're going to have the reclaim of the Venonat in Fire Red. I could see it. I could see it being the Venonat. But what do you think? What do you think will be the shiny that shines tonight if we get one? And I hope we do. So then we're approaching 11 o'clock here in the UK. So I won't go for too long past 11, I don't think. but we're certainly going to be hunting for a little bit longer. Hopefully we'll be able to get Lee back on call later on this week as well. Always a pleasure to hang. Kirby, welcome to the chat. Thank you so much for popping in. Very much appreciate you being here, hanging with me as I go for these shinies. Thank you for hoping it's going to be Leatherbuck, because that is my target in Emerald. So, yeah, would love it to be Leatherbuck. Also because presumably it's not too difficult to capture, but let's hope I'm not jinxing it there. We're also getting a lot of Miltank in Emerald. So it could be that. Shiny Miltank would be very, very cool. Very cool. What else do we think might shine tonight, everyone? Hopefully the... as you can see, I've moved my camera a little bit closer to the Game Boy Advance screens than they have been the previous... well, up to now. Hopefully that's making them just that much more visible. Because the glare has been pretty severe on these screens. Didn't mean to use this fireball. We're going to catch this random Rattata. No, we can't even do that. It's not a good sign. But who knows. And it fled. Wow. Can you imagine if that had been shiny? How disappointing that would be. Goodness. There's the Evolve Rattata. Rachel did say earlier it's not going to be Rattata or Rattata. Very much hope that Rachel's correct there. Houndour, that would be a really cool find. Last year I, literally the second day of Pokemon Sleep's release, I woke up to a shiny Houndour. I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. It felt so... it's just so wrong almost to get a shiny that early on. And obviously everyone goes in hoping that they're going to wake up to a shiny. And then it happened to me. And so yeah, I have had my fair share of luck. So can't be too disappointed that this hunt is going so... well, it's not even that over odds, but can't be too disappointed that this hunt is going over odds at this point. Would also love to shiny hunt Dratini in the Safari Zone of Fire Red and Leaf Green. Then, of course, it can run away, and you can shiny hunt it in a game corner instead, where it can't run away. But fishing encounters do take that little bit longer, which when you're not doing fishing encounters in your other games can interrupt your flow a little bit, I suppose. Alright, let's see now. Let's get another topic of discussion going here. Miltank is another great normal type, actually. When playing through the games, which gym leader have you found the hardest? And it was probably Miltank that made me think of that with Whitney and her Miltank. But would it be Whitney for me? I'm not sure. I think when I was younger, I think I remember battling Jasmine, the Steel type gym leader in Johto, many, many, many times. Because Steel was a difficult one to get your head around back then. Brand new type. Yeah, it might have been that. What have been the gym leaders you found most difficult? I remember struggling with Bugsy. Hey, you say for some reason there, Kirby, but that Scyther that Bugsy has is an absolute monster. So I'm not surprised. Yeah, it's very difficult early on in the game. And Kirby, have you hopped over from Lee's stream, or are you a follower of the podcast, or do you follow me on X? How have you come across the stream today? It's a pleasure to have you here. And thank you so much for hopping in the chat. So, Larry, you want us to do him second? Yes. Yeah, that would be very difficult. But then hopefully you're able to come back, Ashcarp, and take on Larry later. Sabrina was the biggest roadblock. Spent weeks trying to beat her. Put it down to being young. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Back in Generation 1 as well. Sabrina in Generation 2, when you're doing the Kanto gym leaders again, is really tough as well. With the Espeon, at least in Heart of God Soul Silver, it's this Espeon that it's just so powerful. Just does so much damage. Ah, nice. I'm glad that you saw the episode with Matt, Kirby. Did you enjoy the episode? I hope you did. It was a lot of fun to record with Matt. And I'm so pleased that you hopped over here from seeing the episode. In fact, thinking about it, I think we might have interacted on X just today and a couple of days ago as well. I think that you were commenting saying that you were looking forward to the episode. And so I very much appreciate the fact that you've hopped in to the stream tonight. Nice to hang out in real time, and I very much appreciate you choosing to spend your evening with me. Thank you so much, or whatever time of day it is for you. Whereabouts are you based, Kirby? And I hope you enjoy perhaps listening to Quick Panic's episode as well. Fellow Shiny Hunter and, of course, video game competitor. Thank you, Casey. You're off and running. See you another time. Absolutely, my friend. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Have a very merry rest of your day. And I will see you in a stream soon, I'm sure. Thanks so much for stopping by, as always. And thank you for the shiny luck, as always, too. Been a fan of Matt for years. Yes, and you're also in Florida. Very cool, very cool. Well, you are very welcome here from across the pond. And if you want to join my Discord community, the link is down in the description, where we can continue to talk about shinies as well as the podcast, as well as so many other things. But either way, it's a real pleasure to have you here, Kirby. Thank you so much for hopping in. And you're from Florida too, yeah? Quite a few Floridans, if that's what you say, in the Chazingdra community. I've never been to Florida. Kirby, as someone who lives in Florida, have you been to the Disney World there? And if so, what's it like? I've been to Disneyland Paris when I was much younger, I think, but not Florida. So, 11 o'clock. We've just broken 1-1-1-1-1 encounters, which is cool. I think... Can you imagine if that Chansey had been shiny? I think... What are we going to do? What's the plan for the... What's the plan for the evening? We'll go for about another 15 minutes or so. 10-15 minutes. We'll at least get to 11,200 and see from there. So, Kirby, you went when you were young to Disneyland Florida. Really crowded. You prefer Universal. Yeah, understandable. It must be so crowded. I can't imagine. Disney World, Florida. Oh, didn't mean to throw a ball at that main arena. That's annoying, but oh well. And it broke free anyway. And it fled. If that had been a shiny, that would have been very disappointing. So, Kirby, you also a shiny hunter? And if so, tell me your shiny hunting background. What's your favourite quest you've done, or favourite shiny that you own? What are you hunting right now? All that jazz. I'd love to hear. Whew. You are a shiny hunter? Very cool. So tell me about some of the quests and things that you've been on. Thank you so much to everyone who is hanging out with me here. We won't be streaming for too much longer here. Because it's getting pretty late here in the UK. We still don't have the shiny. We are nearly, I guess 1.5 times over odds, actually. It's what, 8192 plus 4096. So that's going to be, well, actually that's going to be at least 13,000 encounters. So we are, we're not quite 1.5 times over odds. But we're approaching that level. You've been hunting for a few years, you don't have any insane quests, but the shiny you're proudest of is your shiny starter Chespin NY. 2-ish years on and off. Oh, I can only imagine how you must have felt once you actually found that shiny Kirby. Absolutely incredible. The resets in that game are so long as well. So, huge kudos to you for sticking with that hunt. And what a prize that you have for it. Ashkarp, thank you so much for the luck. Appreciate you being here. As always, my friend, do join the Discord community if you haven't already. Ashkarp would be fantastic to see you there. Hope you sleep very well. And, hopefully we get this tomorrow. Or very soon at least, or maybe even tonight. But, thanks so much, Ashkarp. Shiny Chespin in Y. I still have the shiny Arceus to hunt in Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, but the resets are long. So, that's something I'm dipping in and out of as well, although I haven't dipped into that for a little while now. Took forever. You kept switching targets. You originally wanted Fennekin, then switched because you grew to love Chestnut. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm a Fennekin kind of guy. Fox is my favourite animal. So, it has to be Fennekin for me. But they're all good in Generation 6, I think. Chespin and Froakie, both great options. When I was younger, my go-to first partner type was water. I feel like I've branched out a little bit more now, but So I can see the appeal of them all, for sure. It was such a fun time talking to Matt, and I hope that Matt and I are able to hang out at some point. It'd be amazing to be able to meet Matt in person at some point as well. But who knows when we'll be able to be in the same country, on the same continent, to enable that to happen. Same with Kyle. Would love to meet Quit Panic too, in person. Had such a good time. Kyle and I talked for like 2 hours, more 2.5 hours actually, when we recorded for the episode that I did with him. Absolutely loved hanging out with Carl. You're saying it's going to be the Ledyba on the Emerald Kirby. That's what's going to shine first. Well, we shall have to see. Presumably, Kirby, you're someone who watches Matt's stream on Twitch as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. But it must be so interesting hanging out in a chat that has as much going on as Matt's chat does. I mean, all of the things that Matt adds to his layout from the chat and the music going on, and what's it like being in in Matt's chat? Favorite shiny that I found? There are quite a few. So I was saying earlier, I did a Sapphire Dream Team quest. It started in the autumn of 2022. I still need to do the Elite Four in that game, actually, so I might stream that at some point. And the targets I had, there were ultimately, Sceptile, Exploud, Beautifly, Seviper, Burnett, and Gorobus. And I'm very proud of that Seviper, because the encounters there are way in Swablu's favour. Seviper, a little bit rarer. There was someone, we had Lee Provost on, Osiris, who's a celebrated Pokemon YouTuber doing tips and tricks and guides for Scarlet and Violet. But also a caster like me. I'm a competitive Pokemon video game caster. And someone in his chat saying that they're on phase 7 for Zangoose. 45k plus encounters. So I feel very lucky to have that Seviper. And it's such a cool shiny, I think, shiny Seviper. So, yeah, I think I'd say that, probably. Shiny Seviper. I personally prefer Sapphire over Ruby too, so... yeah, I'm more of a Kyogre fan than a Groudon, but obviously they're both really cool. I got Seviper first phase, Kirby. Yeah, incredible. Incredible. I was so lucky. Yeah, could not believe it. Absolutely thrilled. I know that some people go on that hunt for a very long time, so yeah. Thrilled with that. So, we are fast approaching 11,200 encounters. Are we going to have a last minute shiny? Oh, I'd be over the moon. Not a Larvitar there. Be cool if Lee and I do shiny race for Larvitar. But then, of course, it's such a difficult capture anyway, so who knows. There are hunters who go for Larvitar for years in the Safari Zone. You also have a Sapphire Dream Team in the works. You've got Sceptile and Aggron currently hunting Absol. How appropriate. How appropriate for today and for Matt's episode. So there we go, we're at 11,200 encounters. Where do we go from here? We're going up to 11,250. Then we're going to stop. Can't believe we don't have this shiny yet. Gotta say. Tomorrow will be day 7 of hunting. Yeah, shiny Aggron is so cool. Kirby, I love... Yeah, that's a really good one, actually, because I've been saying that my favourite colour of shiny is probably turquoise. Aggron is one that I don't tend to think about, but that's really cool. I love shiny Totodile. Shiny Latios is really cool as well. Yeah, I just love the colour turquoise. Thanks, Kirby. Yeah, let's hope it shines soon. But either way, you have all made it so much fun tonight. Hanging out, very much appreciate all of you guys for stopping by. As ever. Makes shiny hunting so much more fun to be able to share in it with others. So, yeah. As ever, let me know if you've been doing Safari Week. Are you doing Safari Week, Kirby? And if so, what are your targets? Alright. Just about 25 encounters to go. Hoot Hoot. I'd love to see a Hoot Hoot as well. Shiny Hoot Hoot. That Noctowl. It's very cool. Targeting Nidoran, Female and Fire Red, and Heracross and Ruby and Sapphire. That's a good spread of difficulty there, I think. Heracross, Ruby and Sapphire, of course, a little bit more difficult than the Nidoran Female in Fire Red, but that's good. You want to have targets at different levels. That's kind of what my thinking behind the Ledibur in Emerald as well. Also, just because I think Ledibur and Ledian are underrated Pokemon. Alright, we're reaching the end game here, chat. So, clearly I missed an encounter on the counter just then, so... Alright. This is it. This is the last round of 4. Venonat, Nidoran female. Raticate, Sunkern. Not shiny. And yeah, of course, still a little rare in Fire Red. Yeah, of course, Nidoran male, more common. Sorry, yes, I'd forgotten about that. Yeah, that's a really good point, Kirby. So, yeah, good fun, chatting, Kirby. We've got 11,250. We're going to do a bonus. 4. Always got to do a bonus. It feels unfinished without a little bonus encounter round. So here we go. Let's load up 4 more. Pinsir, can you imagine if that had been shiny? Nidoran male. Raticate. Pineco. Alas. Well, thank you, Kirby. I hope you have a great rest of your day as well. And to everyone who is currently in chat, thank you so much for hanging out with me here. 11,254 encounters. I mean, yeah, we're over odds. We'll see if something shines. This is what we do when we shiny hunt. You never know when it's going to come. Could be the very next encounter. Could be ages away. We'll just have to see. Thanks so much for hanging out. If you've been here from Lee's stream, very much appreciate you hopping over and joining me tonight. Hopefully we'll be able to talk to Lee later on this week as well. If you're here having watched my episode of Chazingdra Chats with Absol Pokemon, then I hope you enjoyed that. It was a real pleasure talking to Matt. And I hope to be able to hang out with Matt soon more as well. And if you haven't listened to that episode, I hope that you do go and listen to it or watch it on YouTube, because real insight from someone who's spent 14 years uploading videos to YouTube, able to watch someone grow up over the course of a good number of YouTube videos. Thank you so much, Taki, for the wishes. Fingers crossed, and I hope you have a good rest of the day as well. Sleep very well. Yeah, please do leave a like and a subscribe. That would be hugely appreciated if you can, because as I was saying earlier, all these things really do go such a long way in this day and age. And if you appreciate the content, I put a lot of time into it. So yeah, it would be fantastic to have that little boost from all of you. Check out the other content on my channel as well. I've got so many episodes of Chazingdra Chats to get involved in, like with Quick Panic, like with video game competitors, like with trading card game casters, all sorts of casters, competitors, and more casual players too. Hope you have a good rest of your day as well, Wormseye. Thank you so much for hopping over. As well as the event vlogs that I make from casting, just documenting our experiences commentating in the various locations that we are fortunate enough to get to cast in. All my socials are linked down below as well, so you can keep in touch with me off stream, as well as my Discord community, Chazindra's Chocolate Factory. It would be fantastic to see some of you over there as well, so we can keep sharing the shiny luck and our finds and our Pokemon experiences off stream. You'd be very welcome there. I have a Patreon too. If you want to support me as a creator and the podcast and the channel, you can also access bonus material from Chazingdra Chats, the podcast over there, with each of the guests that I have on. So hope that you can go and check that out. But of course, even if you're not subscribing on Patreon, then I just appreciate you all so much for coming to hang out this evening and every evening. So tomorrow we'll be back. I was a little bit late today and I apologise again for that. It's just been such a hectic day because I was recording with the next guest for Chazingdra Chats as well. Tomorrow we'll be back at 7 and I should be more prompt on 7 tomorrow as well. We'll see if something shines. We keep going. We keep moving. And otherwise, yeah. We'll see if we can get Lee on call, see if we can get Quick Panic on call for a future stream as well. We'll see who we can get. But fundamentally, thank you all so much for hanging out with me. It's made the time go so much faster, and it's always a pleasure to have your company while I'm doing this. So, with that said, hope you very much enjoy the rest of your days. I'll see you tomorrow, and have a very merry rest of your day.